on his black shorts and socks, will blow his whistle, and away we go. Southend v Forest Green in the National League. Can the Blues get back to those winning ways? 3 changes from the week, and Dengendy in goal, Taylor, Golding and Gubbins in the back 3, Scott Morris the captain on the right, Boys on the left, Morton in midfield, Coker and Appiah Forson in front of him, with Dallas and Hopper leading the line. 1 change for Forest Green from last Saturday's win against Aldershot. Isted in the goal, Ahmed, Innis the former Southend man, and Kanu and Boyavu in the back 4, Mendy and Campbell sitting in front of them, McAllister on the right, Knowles on the left, Nwoka in the middle, Mellor leading the line, but Andy Dallas is into the penalty area. He'll cut it back, but it's saved by the goalkeeper for Isted. Space just opening up for Southend, attacking down the left wing on this near side. Dallas finding a pocket behind the high pressing Forest Green defence, and it's a first corner of the game after 45 seconds. Paul.
Well, 3 of them were high pressing. Left back was totally asleep. All he had to do was stand still, and Dallas had run offside. But he tracked back with him from 30 yards away, played him onside, and then they were really stretched. Shame that Andy couldn't pull it back once he got to the byline.
Andy Dallas scoring a stunning goal against Gateshead in the week. He's scoring 3 consecutive games. Ollie Coker with this corner kick, right-footed from the left wing, aims for the far post, headed away though by Boyabu. Morton with the follow-up volley, but driven off the back of McAllister, headed back into the penalty area.
Corner?
I think it might be Isted. Will he stop that going over the line? No, says the assistant Daneth Bandara on the far wing. And Forest Green Rovers just causing a few of their own problems and not clearing their lines.
Tell you what, it was a decent ball in from the corner, and it's a shame that the defender got a free header from 6 yards out, but pleasing to see James Morton come in and try that volley from the edge of the box. So well blocked out, but then they got the second ball as well.
Morton hasn't scored in nearly 2 years for Southend. So Harry Boys with this corner kick from the right corner in front of the west stand, left-footed to swing towards the byline. Again aims towards the far post, and the header, James Golding! It's in! Sprinting start for Southend United. 2 minutes 8. James Golding, almost a year to the day since he scored his last goal, and he climbed higher than Forest Green, higher than 6'6" Ryan Innis, and put Southend United ahead early doors. That's what we've been wanting to see from the Blues. Southend United 1, Forest Green Rovers 0.
I tell you what, it was a great ball to the far post from Harry Boys, dropped in exactly the right area. There's going to be an inquisition from Forest Green Rovers, because it was harder for James Golding to miss it in the end. I couldn't believe how much space he got at the back post there. I don't think he could, because he looked surprised when he saw it go in. It's a great delivery finally to that back post area, and he got away. There's actually 2 of them at the back post could have headed it in.
Their options were lining up for Southend. You sense they've been hungry for those opportunities. We've been calling for the chances to be taken, and very early on Southend have taken theirs and they have pushed for it. Just 3 minutes in, the scoreboard's yet to update, but it will be, and it will say Southend 1, Forest Green Rovers 0. And now the 2 drums banging in the north bank. West stand well populated, as is the south stand and the east stand around us. The security guard to our left keeping an eye on Robbie Savage, and a couple of 100 travelling Forest Green fans. And he will not be happy with what he's seen, but Kevin Mayer will be absolutely delighted.
Well, he won't be happy because the amount of space that Golding got. I will just note, by the way, that Ryan Innis has gone into play right side of centre half, and Ahmed has come out as right back now, so that lasted about 2 minutes.
Oh, and a ball from Isted, the goalkeeper, going straight out of play, gets a few jeers. Recorded himself an assist earlier this season in a 2-0 win for Forest Green Rovers up at Gateshead. But they're right under the cosh at the moment. Hopper trying to head into the path of Dallas, right side of the penalty area.
It's a bit of a stiff breeze blowing down that way. It's even from the corner, it just seemed to drift in there a little bit, hung in the air a little bit longer than everybody was expecting.
Yeah, the top of the trees are gently swaying, so you suspect there is a breeze whipping its way around the south coast of Essex. As this ball down the right wing falls straight to James Golding. And then back to Ndengendi, who puts into the path of Scott Morris. Not quite into the path of Appiah Forson, but Forest Green forced back, and very unlike Forest Green. But I remember going to the New Lawn earlier this season. You see them moving the ball at pace through the channels, like they're trying to do now. Threaded in for Damani Mellor to chase, but James Golding is there first. Back to Golding and cleared away to Manny Mellor, a player who joined only last week.
Yeah, he got to Collins, got to back away from Golding there, almost get his feet on the byline to give him place to knock that ball back, because he knocked it back a bit of pace and that hurried Colin up. He sliced it out for this throw-in, unfortunately.
Laurent Mendy collecting the ball from the throw-ins. Only missed two league games for Southend United, both of them against Boreham Wood. He heads the ball forward into Mellor, who tries to bring the Woko into the game. Scubbins for Southend puts the ball down the left wing. I said I would look at how this starting lineup for Forest Green compared to the November one. There's only 6 players from that starting 11 involved in this matchday squad. Only 10 from that matchday 18. So 6 in the starting 11. As the ball went out of play over the byline, and looking at the penalty area there for Ryan Ested, Paul Clark, it is cutting up a bit. Looks like it's ready to sow the seeds.
Yeah, it's a little. It's obviously had a dry and wind on it, a bit of sun over the last few days or so. But it was just cutting up and went a little bit bobby when they were doing all their warm-ups.
Well, Southend certainly the warmest of the two teams as Harry Taylor intercepts a pass. And Andy Dallas able to turn, just getting into Forest Green's half, finds Hopper in the middle of territory. Southend are moving at pace. Coker into Harry Boyes, left side of the penalty area, cuts back, will get the shot away perhaps on his right foot. Now he'll get it, deflection away, and will it go over the byline for a corner kick? It will. Deflection off Tate Campbell of Forest Green Rovers, and fans already on their feet, including Justin Rees.
Yeah, and good to see the forwards all linking up as well. Good ball into Hopper's feet from Dallas. He turns out, played it out to Harry Boyes, and then a couple of jinks inside, shaped his shoot, stopped the defender, moved it again a couple of times, then got a decent shot, but unfortunately he got blocked for this corner. But real good positive play all round.
You can see a bit of wind whipping on the corner flag next to Ollie Coker in front of this east stand. It's Ollie Coker with his long dark hair and his moustache. Just take a few seconds as the referee has a word with Gus Scott Morris. Bit too much argy-bargy in the 6-yard box for his liking. So Ollie Coker to line this up, right-footed from the left corner, swinging towards the byline. Again aims for the far post. Inset has to claw that away, and it is hooked further. Boyes heads this back into the penalty area. Hopper will sneak in. Son. Really well done. Cameron Mayer wants a penalty, but play will continue.
Never.
You can't blame them for trying. Coker and Boyes keep Southend in possession. 1-0 to the Blues over the Green Army. Threaded into Ollie Coker. He'll play the cross into the far post. It's just beyond James Golding. Scott Morris might follow up. It bounces in the D outside the penalty area. And Forest Green Rovers still looks to counter-attack. Gilly Boyabe down the left wing. Cut room for Carl McAllister on the right. But a huge tackle from Harry Taylor, and it will be a throw-in for Southend United. The applause kept Paul Clark for Harry Taylor's work.
Yeah, just on the penalty shout that Kevin was going for. The defender's about to clear it by the looks of it, and Tom Hopper has stuck his leg up around him, the outside of his hook, and hooked it round and then gone to ground because he's got himself off balance rather than the defender knocking him off. That's what it looked like on the first viewing.
I'll tell you something, Tom Hopper is giving Abraham Kanu a lot of problems in the early stages today as well. He's not been able to deal with the high balls. There's a challenging one from Forest Green as Tom Knowles tries to collect it on the left wing far side, but he slips, and Scott Morris will lift this for Andy Dallas to chase, but he won't get there ahead of the towering Ryan Innes. As Tate Campbell collects this for Forest Green Rovers. If you're listening on BBC Essex Sports on all frequencies, Warren Muggleton and Paul Clark at a sunny Roots Hall, and a misplaced pass from Campbell, who has a lugubrious, frustrated look on his face as he looks the way of Ashkar Ahmed, and it will be a throw-in for Southend.
It's safe to say that they haven't had the best start for us, hasn't it? They've barely got out of the blocks at all. Southend have taken full advantage.
Another example here, Ashkar Ahmed joining Forest Green Rovers on loan from Reading in February. Tate Campbell joining from Buxton of National League North in February as well. A few calls from Southend fans. They want a foul against Ryan Innes on Tom Hopper, but referee says no, as Andy Dallas goes in for a challenge against him. 50-50 on the header, and gets a back flick as it eventually falls to ground. Coker tries to release it down the left wing, but Innes intercepting and clearing. And it is a case of Southend winning the aerial battles really, as that misplaced pass is into Coker. That's another thing, Paul. How many misplaced passes have there been from Forest Green early doors?
I've lost count. They've had a woeful start. First 10 minutes. They're losing players in the box. Can't pass from A to B. The only worry is probably ain't going to last.
Yeah.
But you've got to put them to the sword while they are like it. At the minute, there's a few people looking around, pointing fingers at each other, asking questions. So yeah, exploit it.
The kick from Southend. Paul Clark pointing out room for Kyle McAllister to me. Hopper just trying to get there ahead of Ahmed, but the Reading Loney able to muscle out the Southend United man and push a ball down the right wing. But again, Golding gets there ahead of the Manny Mellor, although Condenganty's touch is heavy. He was put under pressure by Knowles, eventually gets it away to Harry Boyes, and it's a bit messy for Southend down their left wing, but they are able to keep possession. Morton, maybe a bit heavy as it has to go back to Joe Gubbins, but all of a sudden a bit of spark in Forest Green, although a high ball into Andy Dallas, chase this left side of the penalty area. Onto his right foot, cuts into the penalty area, back flick into Harry Boyes, the room will open up, plays it across the area, but it's cleared away by Gilly Boyabu. Scott Morris was there, and Boyabu remonstrates with his midfielders because Southend are in flying form in these early stages. A huge chance, but still 1-0.
Yeah, and he put it into a really good area. It looked as if he's going to pick out Gus Scott Morris sliding in there. It's great seeing both wing backs pushing up into the box. We did say that their full backs should be able to pick them up, but they haven't got an answer for them at the moment.
Well, something we don't see very often. Joe Gubbins, I thought he was going to launch a long throw, but went short to Coker. Now he'll play across from left to right, aimed at Scott Morris. It's cleared away by Knowles. A few calls for Harry Taylor to shoot from distance, but we haven't seen him do that in quite a few years.
That ain't going to happen.
Maybe in the wildest of dreams, perhaps. But that's the job of Taylor, is to do the defending, as we saw earlier. Coker finding Morton, who goes over the halfway line. Pinpoint ball from left to right. Scott Morris attempting the header into Scott Morris, but intercepted by Boyabu. Mendy finds himself under pressure, looking for options. Lateral into Knowles, or into McAllister, who's dropped right the way back.
Well, he's had to. He hasn't had a touch yet. So can I play?
This is Knowles, who put the pressure on Ndengendi, and as the ball goes back to Colin Ndengendi, he just has to watch out. He does find the way to Taylor. So let's get an update from New Lodge. Top of the table, Isthmian Premier clash between Billericay and Aveley. Tom Larson-Wright watching this one.
Yeah, 10 minutes gone. Warren, it's the away side who strike first. Aveley are 1-0 up at Billericay Town, and it's the forward Toby Aramalaran with the goal. Aveley worked it down the right hand side. They had 2 attempts to get the ball in, came back out to them. Billericay couldn't clear it, and a ball played across the floor and just tapped in from a few yards out by Aramalaran. It's Billericay Town 0, Aveley 1.
Excellent move from Southend United, working down the right wing, the triangle of Scott Morris, Appiah Forson and Dallas. Back to Scott Morris, first time cross aimed at Hopper, but on the head of Ryan Innes. Scott Morris will get another chance to head it into Dallas, right side of the penalty area. Was pushed outside of it by Campbell of Forest Green. Still 1-0 at Roots Hall. 1-2 between Appiah Forson and Dallas. He'll push it into the penalty area, but needs the block from Kyle McAllister, from attacker turn to defender, and it's a 4th corner kick of the first 14 minutes for Southend.
And you've just seen a demonstration, I think, of what Kevin has been looking for all along, that slick 1-2 touch passing, and at the minute they're just ripping holes into Forest Green. They've got no answer for them at the moment. Beautiful passing down that right hand side.
Southend showing real directness and intent with attack. What can they do with this opportunity? Harry Boyes with the corner from the right side. Again, he'll go towards the far post, but too much on that one, and it bounces over the byline, and it will be a goal kick. That too much even for James Golding.
Yeah, he was looking for a similar area, but just got too much on it. But if it's 50% and it's James Golding 2 out of 4 times, I'll settle for that.
Short goal kick played short by Isted into Abraham Kanu. As Boyabu out on his left, made national headlines, Gilly Boyabu, after delivering his own baby last Thursday. You can read about that on the BBC Sport website. Here he is now on the ball, the former Sheffield United academy player alongside Harry Boyes. This is Nwoko, looking for options, but again has to go to his left. Southend really quickly getting back into that shape of the five players in that defensive line. The three midfielders, the two
Forest
forwards.
Green at the moment doing what Southend have been accused of doing, playing so slow, and everybody in the blue shirt has got back. Forson error by Forson is there to capitalise on it. Everything from Forest Green there was so slow. Oh dear me, that could be trouble for Gus Scott Morris. That was a poor challenge.
Oh, now he's pushed it away. Tom Knowles.
It's only going to be a booking.
Just talk us through the challenge, Paul.
Just jumped in 2 feet. Simple as that. Lad moved it to the side, jumped in 2 feet, and could be argued he's lucky it's just yellow.
So yellow card for Gus Scott Morris after 60 minutes. One thing to bear in mind, that's now his 9th in the league this season. Southend playing their 35th game, so it means they've still got 2 games until the 10 yellow card suspension window.
Well, it's funny because I was just seeing him down as captain today. I thought, oh good, that'll give him permission to talk to the referee, so that might avert a caution that way. Then he goes and makes a tackle like that.
You know all about Gus Scott Morris's heroics against Forest Green, that winning penalty in the shootout in the playoff semi-final. Scored the equaliser in what would be one of 3 2-all draws last season. As Forest Green again play it short. The free kick was just shy of the halfway line on the left wing on the far side. And again, they're trying to play this through the channels to Manny Mellor. Will just about keep the ball in, but the combination of Boys and Golding kept him off the ball. Ahmed tried to break down the right wing, but Gubbins with another big tackle. That's what I've liked about this as well, Paul. There's been no holding back from Southend in the tackles as well. We saw it from Taylor on the far side, just seen it from Joe Gubbins.
I would hope not. Why would you hold back on a challenge? As long as you don't go over the top like Gus Scott Morris did, why would you ever want to hold back on a challenge?
Innes winning the header from the throw-in. Ball hasn't gone out of play. McAllister keeping it in. High ball aimed at this just outside the penalty area. And Tate Campbell winning the ball. And it seems the referee and the assistant can't decide between them which way the throw-in should go. And eventually the assistant Ryan Head says it'll be a Forest Green throw-in. 17 minutes in, Southend 1, Forest Green 0.
Good job the referee had a coin with him there. He was just tossed up and decide which way he was going to give it.
Mendy pokes away to McAllister. Forest Green finding some passes. Now it's to Tate Campbell, edge of the penalty area, through to Mellor. Went down in the penalty area, but it was his own volition. And the ball trickles to Ndengendi of Southend. First real time we've seen Forest Green bear down on Southend's penalty area.
First time they passed at pace again in and around the box, and it was lucky the lad stumbled on it. Opper's done particularly well there to pick up that ball, running in beyond the defenders.
Again, a high ball from the goalkeeper, really catching out Forest Green. Southend getting to those headers first, largely due to the work of Tom Hopper. But it comes all the way back to Ndengendi outside his penalty area. Might just need to be a bit aware of how close the Forest Green Rovers players are getting to him, but he's confident at the moment.
I tell you what, they've watched and they've said to their players, look, any time it goes back to the goalkeeper, just go and close down as quick as you can, because he'll give you a chance. And Colin's got to realise that they're going to do that to him and just play 1 or 2 touch as quickly as he possibly can.
Throw into Forest Green, obviously with Nwoko trying to get between Boys and Morton of Southend. Little ricochet off the left back. The February Fans Player of the Month, Harry Boyce, scored his first goal in over 4 years in the 5-1 win against Morecambe. Assist to his name as well. Said earlier in the week, we've not lost, but it fires us up, these results, and that's clearly being shown today. You can listen to that full interview on the BBC Sounds Club feed. As we stand, 19 minutes in, the Roots Hall crowd feeling buoyant.
I would hope so. Got plenty to feel buoyant about for the opening 18 minutes or so.
Another long throw from Gubbins aimed at Hopper, but Innes climbing for it. Clearance from Campbell of Forest Green, who's popped up a couple of times. The former Buxton man. Made 22 appearances in National League North for them. Was actually part of the Bromley team that was promoted in 2024 via the playoffs, but what didn't feature in the matchday squad a lot of the time. Meanwhile, Southend have tried to play it in close quarters on their left wing on the near side in front of the east stand. The ball trickling out of play, and it's a throw in for Forest Green.
Oh dear me.
And again it's short into Ahmed. Hopper will try to sneak in and win the ball. It falls to Innes to clear it away. Morton's there first, but straight to Mendy. Boys tries to steal the ball away from the former Macclesfield man. He's able to get it to Campbell, and Mellor, another former Macclesfield man, chasing that down the right wing. And it'll be throw-in.
Golding did well, stayed nice and tight. Lad was looking to knock it by him and have a foot race, but got it stuck under his feet, and Golding's just able to tow it away.
Keeping an eye on National League South as well. Chelmsford City with the chance to get into the playoffs as they take on Worthing, but a 1-0 down on the South Coast. Keep you across those scores. Of course, the other National League scores and Premier League, all of those on the BBC Sport website, as well as coverage of the Six Nations. Last time Scotland hoping to win the Six Nations for the first time, but an uphill battle if they're to do that at the Aviva against Ireland. Forest Green have moved this from left to right. McAllister drifting in field, looped out to the far side of the penalty area of Southend, but onto the head of Scott Morris, who heads back to his keeper in Dangandy. And again, he'll say, get further up the field, but Kevin Mayer, he wants more, as always.
Well, listen, it was always going to happen. Forest Green started to play themselves into the game now and get a bit of possession. And the good thing from Blues' point of view there was coming together between
Scott Morris wanted
that.
He was trying to draw the foul from Gilly Boyabu, edge of the penalty area, but referee in the line of sight.
Referee saying they're both at it. But so they're just starting to get a little bit of possession, Forest Green. It's just important now that Southend, whether they're going to go and close down or whether they're going to sit back and keep their shape, they all do the same thing, and they do it as a team, and then they can switch from one to the other.
But right now, limiting Forest Green to long balls through the middle, straight to Ndengan. Few droplets of rain making their way across, the wind from the north, pushing those droplets across the green surface at Roots Hall. But we're well protected under the fans. Andy Dallas able to turn away from Innes. For the foul it was a foul by Ryan Innes. It has a look of surprise towards the technical area.
Milk turns quicker than that.
Free kick's been played short. Andy Dallas bearing down, has Scott Morris on the right side. He'll play it into him. He cuts inside, plays it across to Ollie Coker. He miscues a Pia Forson, can't sneak it in. Just got the ball caught under his feet, edge of the 6-yard box, and allowed Harry Isted the time to get across. Still 1-0. And the first big chance for Southend really since they played the ball about 10 minutes ago from Harry Boys. And Forest Green Rovers looking to counter quickly. It's Gilly Boyabu, left side of the penalty area. Couple of step overs against Scott Morris, tries to lift this into the area. Campbell will pick up the loose ends, drags down a Pia Forson, but it's still alive. Knowles to shoot from outside the penalty area. Ball to McAllister, into Campbell. This is a chance for Forest Green, out to Boyabu, but Southend getting bodies behind the ball now. Got a chance to recover. Boyabu drives it in, but blocked by Harry Taylor. As far as McAllister of Forest Green, still 1-0. One big chance for Southend, but Forest Green suddenly dialing up the pressure on Southend. Here's McAllister out to Knowles, edge of the D, but James Golding has been able to win that. He needs options in front of him though, and he's a bit exposed. Tate Campbell wins the ball, Golding concedes the foul, and it'll be a free kick straight down the middle, 20 yards out from the byline for Forest Green.
He did brilliant in the first place, read that ball, and he stepped out from the defence, intercepted it. Then should have just played it forward really, but tried to get a little bit too clever and ended up giving it away. But what a chance at the other. I think Pia Forson got taken by surprise that it actually come to him, and his first touch he got it stuck under his feet, couldn't get the shot away first time, and then just couldn't move. It was kind of falling over as he swung at it, and barely got anything on it, and was quite comfortable for the goalkeeper in the end.
Hasn't scored in nearly a year in the league for Southend. That winner against Oldham Athletic, and the goal to my right, which is what Forest Green Rovers are aiming this free kick at. Two standing over this, their two top scorers, Kyle McAllister, 11 in the league, 14 overall. Tom Knowles, 8 in the league for 11 overall. McAllister to the right of the ball. Knowles behind it, 5 metres. A 4-man wall in front of him. It will be Knowles to drive with the right foot, but it's straight to the left of goal, to those relieved North Bank fans who jeer with sarcasm towards Knowles, and it will be a goal kick for Southend. First set piece for the Green Army, and it still remains 1-0.
And drizzling quite heavily now.
It's picked up. There's a few grey clouds making their way across from the north and west, and it just gives it a little added element if it carries on. Something else to think about for Southend United. The Oval with a 1-0 lead at the Jatemans. And here's an interesting result to keep an eye on. Halifax Town against Boreham Wood. They're leading 1-0 at the moment. If Halifax were to lose that game, then as long as Southend were avoid defeat, they would put them back in the playoffs. But as it stands,
fouling.
As it stands, it's still Southend in 8th. Just hearing of a medical emergency down at Worthing, so the game involving them and Chelmsford City has been paused. As I say, we'll keep you across what's going on in that National League South game as the rain gets heavier and heavier at Roots Hall. And such as the action in the National League, there's an equaliser now. In form Boston have clawed their way away from a relegation scrap, and they're 1-1. Meanwhile, a goal kick for Southend United, 25 minutes played, Paul.
Did I say it was drizzly? It's tipping it down.
Have you been doing a rain dance or something? Header from Hopper, looking for Dallas, but Forest Green able to clear their lines again through Innes. Seems to be doing it all himself at the moment. Taylor tries to head this back into another man in a dark blue shirt, but Mellor wins it for Forest Green. Knowles into McAllister, first time. Mendy with the turn, quick feet. Nwoko in close quarters. Boyabu with the overlapping run. Forest Green looks to whip a ball into the middle, aimed at Mendy, but Golding able to clear away. As far as the captain of the Green Army, Mendy on his inside, taking on Morton. Again, showing off his quick feet. Boyabu in his bright red boots whips this ball out, but it lacks the quality. But Knowles will stop that from going out of play. Drags the ball beyond Coker. Lovely bit of skill. Ahmed behind him, first time cross, aimed at Boyabu, but it's beyond him and Scott Morris. And you just feel, Paul, maybe Forest Green deciding to get a toehold in this game with time on the ball.
Just feel that they're starting to play in the areas that they want to play in.
Might be a shot from distance, but it's straight at Colin and Ndengendi. Laurent Mendy with that attempt. Hasn't scored this season. Fancied his chances there, but it was straight at Ndengendi. Still 1-0.
Yeah, Mellor following it. It was Mellor following in at the shot on target. Colin took it nice and cleanly. But yeah, you just get a sense now they're getting into the areas that they want to play in. Looks like all their talent is around the final third. Which is why it's so important, Paul, as we say, for Southend. Really, sometimes the best kind of defence is offence. Yeah, go out and get the second goal. That's what Kevin will be saying to them. Squeeze up, get up in the offline and go and play in the opposition half, because they're not going to hurt you from there. But once you get around that final third, they've already shown they've got enough ability to work in tight areas. Gubbins for Southend tries to find Boys, but again, Mellor, the 25-year-old, intercepting for Forest Green. But they try to work it through McAllister, but Southend able to sweep away through Morton. He's played the crossfield ball to the right wing for Andy Dallas to chase. Muscles away from Boyabu. Now Dallas needs options. He's got one in Scott Morris, first time! Cleared. Scott Morris with the follow-up header. Tom Hopper cleared off the line again. Boys might follow this up. Goes down outside the penalty area. Referee says no. Scott Morris attempted the shot, first time right-footed in the penalty area. Pushed away by Isted. It was up into the air. Followed up with a header by Scott Morris. Hopper wanted to help it on its way, but it was cleared off the line by Ryan Innes. Two huge chances to double the lead for Southend. They must have heard us saying attack is the best form of defence. I'll tell you what, it was brilliant. Andy Dallas did great in the first place. Really good effort from Gus Scott Morris in the first one. Keeper pushes out. Really good header from Gus come back. Tom Hopper's put it the only place that Ryan Innes can get it away off the line. Anywhere else, puts it in front of him, but as a forward you're told, head it back where it's come from. Ahmed's across from the right wing into the area. Mellor with the header, also Nwoko. McAllister's gone down in the penalty area off the ball, and it's Harry Boyes. Wanted something from the referee, Paul Howard, but he wasn't looking. Boreham would have drawn level against Halifax. So as it stands, Southend will be going back into the playoffs. Boyabu with a 360 for Forest Green against Ollie Coker. It is, as Paul Clark says, edge of the final third for Forest Green. McAllister just inside that white line, puts it to the far post and Mellor, but Taylor climbing highest for Southend, and it'll be a corner kick, first of the game for Forest Green Rovers. And off a good little ball from McAllister, because he's got the ball at his feet and he doesn't bother to move it and get it out. He just stabs it, stands it up to the back post. And I think it was Harry Taylor did well to turn it out for the corner. Applause for Ben Goodliff as he goes out for an early warm-up, returning to the matchday squad. Referee having a word about that off the ball incident. Yeah, I don't think there was an awful lot in it, so it's good refereeing. Just pull them to one side, have a quiet word. Harry Boyes and Carl McAllister walk away from that one. Not perhaps sort of sheepishly as some of those rugby players in the Six Nations do, away from those referees. But Knowles will take his time to take this corner kick in front of the North Bank. Because we respect referees in football like they do in rugby, don't we? Oh, yeah. Not. So McAllister to take this. The hero for Forest Green in the reverse fixture, scored the winner from 30 yards out at the New Lawn to turn that game around. As we approach the half hour, Tom Hopper doing exactly what we said. Look, middle of 6 yard box, no one to mark, just go and attack it.
This ball is played into the near post. Of course it's going to be aimed at Ryan Innes, but his header loops well over the crossbar as the sun just breaks out from the clouds. Can it shine a bit on Southend again? Still leading 1-0.
And he got the header. Fortunately for Blues, he got too much on it. It's Golding that's picking him up. Just stand underneath him. Just stick your arm in his chest, get really close to him. If he gets a run at her, don't care who you are, he's going to beat you. Just pin him.
Absolutely, Tom Hopper. 1 win in 6 for his personal career record against Forest Green. Looking to get back amongst the goals at Roots Hall for the first time since that big win against Morecambe. Finished off the rout on that day. And Dengendy with the goal kick. Again aims at Hopper. As the ball bounces, Boyarbo able to win it for Forest Green. As Knowles lifts this towards Mellor to win against head of Golding, but he can't bring it into the path of his captain, and Harry Boyd sneaks in for Southend. Dallas put under pressure, back to Taylor, and again it's behind the lines for Innes there to ensure Tom Hopper doesn't get to it first. His clearance will go out of play as Boyarbo attempted to win the ball over the top of Scott Morris, and those two enjoying a tasty battle on the right wing on the far side.
That's what's known as making a back for the opponent, isn't it? And, he took a ride there, didn't he?
Scott Morris certainly not afraid of those. Heard him say before the Carlisle United game, it is the crunch time. Certainly is. That's on the club feed on BBC Sounds. So he will launch a long throw in, perhaps. Apaya Forson close to him, pushes it down the right wing, asking Hopper to get onto this one, and he does. It allows the cross into Scott Morris, but can't find anyone else in blue as it's cleared away by Ahmed. But Joe Gubbins is there first. And the high ball, key to the tactics today for Southend.
Yeah, I mean, it looks an awful ball from Joe Gubbins there, but he's got nowhere else he can put that. And funnily enough, Boys was up in the attack, who's just come back and done particularly well. But he got to see that Joe Gubbins, that's the only ball he's got. So he wants to make that run into that little channel. But Harry Boyce just stood there and watched him, and of course the ball goes out aimlessly to no one, or looks aimlessly to no one. And Joe Gubbins gets the stick for him, but he's got nowhere else to put that.
Battle at the bottom, Gateshead 1, Sutton 0 in the North East. Still 1-1 between Halifax and Boreham Wood, and also all square between Boston and Yeovil. No other goals to report, but all of those on the BBC Sport website. Victoria will keep you across all of those at half time as well here on BBC Essex. The sun has come out to play again on the south coast of Essex. Forest Green happy to play the ball around into Mendy, who's so quick with his feet for a big imposing presence as well. To Mellor. This is Forest Green trying to get back to the edge of Southend's final third as we approach 33 minutes played.
Big diagonal. No, didn't get his head up, got stuck under his feet from Innes. Got a great ball out to the left winger there.
Dallas tries to sneak in, Coker's won the ball, Hopper can drive towards goal, he's got Abraham Carnu to his right, but Hopper shooting, Carnu able to get the tackle in over the byline, but that's what you like to see, Tom Hopper striding with confidence towards the penalty area, unwinding the shot, but it is a corner kick.
Yeah, defender did well, but Tom did it particularly well because he made the run and then he's trying to get away from the defender. There wasn't a soul could keep up with him, so it's a turn of foot race, and he managed to get the shot away. I think it was on target, but defender managed to get the challenge in, turn it out for the corner. But nice to see him being direct.
Harry Boys to take the corner from the left wing this time in front of the east stand. Left footed to swing away from the byline. Plenty of bodies at the far post. This one aims towards the edge of the 6-yard box, and it's McAllister that will get there first. His clearing header met by Southend's Ollie Coker, who celebrated his 23rd birthday on Monday. Boys attempted the first time pass down the left wing into Golding, but was well read by Ashka Ahmed, the 18-year-old, and it's a throw-in for Southend. Darren Curry is giving some words to Harry Boys. Back at the Shaman, Halifax leading Boreham Wood now 2-1. Long throw-in from Boys. As it bounces, Carnu for Forest Green gets there ahead of Andy Dallas. And McAllister's looking for the room to clear the ball. Deflection under the legs of Harry Boys means that Ahmed's put under pressure, and it does win the throw-in for Southend. Again, the applause, Paul, from the Southend fans for the high press of Golding and Boys. Yeah,
and made it very, very difficult for Forest Green to get out. In fact, they couldn't. And pinned them back in that half, and as you say, much easier to defend your goal when you're playing in the opposition half, so keep them in there.
Chelmsford now 2-0 down at Worthing in National League South. Ahmed to take this throw in. Kevin Mayer complaining and expostulating with the officials about how much distance Ahmed ate up for the throw in. As it carries on. That's between Dallas and Carney. They'll get straight up though. Right, Andy Dallas just staying on his knees. We'll take a moment. And it will see John Gowes, the physio, come onto the field.
Andy Dallas was waving, but says, no, I don't want it. The referee's calling him on.
Well, because it means that he has to go off for 30 seconds. We saw this at Scunthorpe United as well for Southend. I think Slavi Spazov had gone down.
Trouble is, when
got straight back up just as the physio came on, so he had to come off.
Trouble is, when you do get nutted in the back of the head, on the base of the skull there, you do see stars, and it clears pretty damn quickly. But looks like he might have caught it just behind his right ear, I think.
He's up on his feet though, Andy Dallas, and he will just have to take 30 seconds. Picked up a hamstring injury in that 2-1 defeat against Forest Green Rovers, which kept him out until the middle of January, that trip to Bath City in the FA Trophy. But has been very much back amongst the goals, looking to score in 3 consecutive games on his loan spell from Barnsley.
Wasn't much wrong with his hamstrings on Tuesday, was there? Sprint into the corner and a wonderful finish.
I think I've watched that about 20 times since then.
I'm not surprised.
Per day. No, I'm joking. It was a superb goal. We're up there for goal of the season for Southend. Plenty more opportunities though to add more. Welcoming Rochdale to Roots Hall to end this run of 3 games at home on Tuesday. Travels to Altrincham next Saturday. At home against Woking on the Wednesday the 25th. Then up to Southport for the FA Trophy semi-final. And then Yeovil at home to end March. A 9-game month for the Blues. But so far they've taken 3 points from 3 games. Looking for that first win in 5 league games. Of course, they beat Horsham in the FA Trophy quarter-final. Forest Green Rovers in the meantime have enjoyed possession across the back line, looking to create room for Ahmed down the right wing. McAllister intercepted and has now clattered into Hopper, and Boys has gone over as well with a tackle from Campbell. Perhaps a tackle of frustration from Tate Campbell, and also from McAllister shoving into Tom Hopper.
Tom just trying to jump out the way at the same time and just caught a hand in the mouth, I think it was, and Harry Boy's making as much as possible out of the next challenge. I think not realising that the free kick had already been given.
So this to be taken by Joe Gubbins in his own half. High ball from left to right, aims at Hopper, and again Hopper wins the header.
Pressure
from Carnu. Dallas tried to sneak in, but the referee says he's given a foul away.
That's great pressure. I mean, the centre half was trying to pull it down a touch, and I think Hopper was just all over him. Didn't want to give him any time on the ball at all. That's what you want from your centre forward.
Ryan Ennis getting Forest Green in possession again. Tallest player on the field. He's already utilised the neck like a giraffe almost for clear away off the line. From an attempt by Tom Hopper about 10 minutes ago, but as it stands we still remain at 1-0 with just over 7 minutes left. Forest Green Rovers with this throw. We will have another update from New Lodge as James Morton clears this away. Let's get that update now. Billericay and Averley meeting in the Isthmian Premier. Tom Larson, right, what's the latest?
Still Billericay Town at 0, Averley 1, but the home side have finally had a chance of their own. A succession of corners resulting in a header towards goal. Comes back off the crossbar and eventually cleared away. I think it was Tommy Davis with the headed effort, but remains here at New Lodge. Billericay Town 0, Averley 1.
In the Six Nations, 5 points between Ireland and Scotland. Scotland, as we say, chasing down that first Six Nations title. Wales v Italy at 20-5 on BBC One actually, so you can put the sound down and listen to Southend United and coverage of BBC Essex Sport as a Applier Forson pushes this out to Scott Morris. He does with a penalty area, shooting on his right foot off the post. And out for a corner kick, the assistant has said. There's been a slight deflection on the way from Boyabu, but such was the pace of the ball, it was almost imperceivable. but it smacked off the bottom of the right upright and over the byline for a corner kick.
Yeah, couldn't see who got the touch, but the goalkeeper was getting nowhere near it, was he? Unless it was him that went down. But hitting the outside of the post, real good effort.
It's been a penalty to Aveley at New Lodge. We'll see what happens with this corner kick for Southend, and then hop over to New Lodge again. Harry Boyes with the corner from the far side. Again, it's for the far post. Golding, is he there? It just goes over the byline, and it will be a goal kick. Golding did get something on it, but not enough to poke into the top left corner as he did for the lead. Yeah,
he was struggling there because the defender had a big handful of his shirt, pulling him away and just trying to make sure he couldn't get anything on it. But it was into a really good area again.
Let's make that hop over to New Lodge. Tom Larson, right, how are we doing with the penalty?
Yeah, still waiting for it to be taken, but it's Aveley who've won themselves a penalty just as Billericay looked to be trying to get back into this game. In fact, they just hit the post. Toby Ramalaran dispossessing Billericay, running towards goal, getting into the area, and he was taken down as he aimed for a shot. And now, as you come to me, Warren, Aveley are just sizing up this penalty. It's going to be Ollie Peters for Aveley, the former Billericay player. 12 goals so far this season, the joint top scorer for the Millers. He's just standing over the ball here as the referee tells the Billericay defenders to stay out of the box. Peters then taking aim for this one, standing about 3 steps away from it. It's going to be a right-footed shot. Here comes Peters, and it's into the right-hand corner, and it's Billericay Town 0, Aveley 2, and Peters gets his 13th goal of the season. It's the side in second that are going to go into the break in a good position here. Billericay Town 0, Aveley 1.
Well, there we go. Aveley putting their foot down in that position of second place. Only one going up from the Isthmian Premier at the moment. It's Folkestone and Victor, and that's probably been that way for a long time. But at the moment, 3 Essex sides in the playoff places in the Isthmian Premier. All of those half-time scores to come with Victoria Poly. You haven't missed much at Roots Hall. Still 1-0. Exchange of possession between Forest Green and Southend. A chance for Southend to work down the right wing, but Hopper conceding a foul on Carnu, which has led to this free kick from the goalkeeper instead, which sits up in the air. And just before we go back to the action, a chance to remind you of all the Southend interviews, and with former players and current players, pre-post match interviews on BBC Sounds on the club feed. Just search Southend United, you'll find it all there. You had the post-match reaction from today, also those pre-match press conferences with Harry Boyes and Kevin Mayer, where he said they were feeling the frustration of the fans as much as anybody, Paul Clark. But with this performance, the Southend have a free kick far side of the centre circle, midway through Forest Green territory. That frustration might be dissipating a little bit in this sunny Roots Hall sky.
Look, you can't be frustrated with what they've produced in this first 42 minutes or so. I mean, they had the perfect start, and yeah, Forest Green, as you would expect, are having their little spells, but they're being diligent in their defensive work, and getting on the front foot again and pushing Forest Green back, and Forest Green trying to play out at times, and Southend really are being very disciplined about when to go, and if they're all going together, and it's making it very difficult for Forest Green Rovers at the moment.
Harry Boyes with his bright orange boots to take this just on the edge of the shadow of the west stand into the middle of the penalty area. Scott Morris straight at the keeper. It was perfect for Scott Morris to head that in either corner, but he guided the header straight at Harry Isted. And it's another chance missed for Southend, but still leading 1-0. 2 minutes of the first half left.
Yeah, I wouldn't have been surprised if the flag had gone up, had that gone in, to be perfectly honest. I thought they'd just gone a little bit too early, the two of them. Can't tell, obviously, from this angle 100%, but it looked it from here.
Ball bounces from Carnu. He's headed it back to his keeper, but Andy Dallas trying to sneak in behind, and instead again he has a few choice words for Carnu.
He did well there, Carnu, because the ball sat up on him a little bit, and he had to put all the pace onto it to get it back to his goalkeeper. It was a difficult ball for him to deal with. He did well, because there was a lot of pressure from Dallas, as Coker now puts pressure on Mendy.
Mendy, one of the 4 players in the matchday squad to arrive at Forest Green from Macclesfield. And Robbie Savage served as manager last season, winning promotion from the Northern League Premier Division. 40 wins in 51 games. So quite had that record as he approaches 50 games with Forest Green. On 23 wins in 46. In this winning, a header from Southend's throw-in down the left wing on this near side. As Mendy plays this into Mellor, gets a touch, but it's heavy and allows Golding to clear. It'll be a throw-in for Forest Green on their right wing on this near side, in front of their fans, who've travelled a few dotted blue seats in that north bank. the fair contingent up at the back.
Yeah, it was good cover from Golding there, because the ball had taken Gubbins out of the game, and it was really good control from Mellor when he pulled it down, but Golding come across on good cover, managed to knock it out.
Mendy's played the ball towards the centre circle backwards into Boyabu. Just invites the pressure from Afia Forson as he forces Carney back to the keeper Isted. In this with a deft touch, but it's straight to Morton. Dallas will chase this into the left corner, and Forest Green might be a bit exposed at the back as Dallas will take this on. 2 minutes of additional time to come. Dallas wants it on his right foot, couple of deflections. Coker will shoot, might fall to Hopper in the penalty area, taken off his boot by Campbell. It will trickle to Gubbins. Southend still on the attack, still 1-0 with 2 more minutes to come. There's one of it is frightfully fast and feverish first half for Southend in comparison to the last 3 games. Gubbins lifting this into Hopper, first time to Coker, from the volley, aimed at the bottom left corner, but met by Harry Isted. Just had the sting taken out of it with a bounce in that penalty area, and Harry Isted able to get down for his 3rd save of this first half.
A great touch from Tom Hopper to set it up for him. A ball into Tom Hopper's feet, it came in at awkward height for him, took it on the volley and just helped it around the corner to give Coker the shooting opportunity.
Innes for Forest Green lifts this down the right wing, but again that plays into Southend's hands. Gubbins will clear that away as we have 1 more minute. A few fans making their way and already happy with what they've seen around
Nothing
us.
wrong with that header from Joe Gubbins in the 46th minute, just get it off the park.
Gubbins had his own part to play, has never scored a professional goal, but scored the 3rd penalty in the shootout last May. It was a great strike as well. So Boyabu getting a few boos from the Southend fans for the theatrics with Scott Morris. Yeah, the theatre of football.
Yeah.
The pantomime villain today, Dilly Boyabu. Taylor will take his time with this throw-in. Don't forget to stay with us on BBC Essex Sports. We'll have all the updates, all the scores with Victoria Polly. You're soaking in the Roots Hall atmosphere with us today. Been busy. We were at Colchester United last night. Already seen a goal today as Mendy goes for an overhead clearance, finds Mellor for Forest Green as he tries to play it down the left wing. Nwoku won't get there before the referee blows his half-time whistle as applause rings round Roots Hall, with the Blues leading the Green Army 1-0. The goal after 2 minutes, a corner kick onto the head of James Golding, heading in at the left upright into the corner. And it's been chance after chance really for Southend. A chance for boys to get into the area, but it cleared away. Tom Hopper and Scott Morris with chances on goal. Coker with a volley. And Forest Green, Paul Clark, haven't really known where to look. We're just seeing a few words between Gus Scott Morris and Gilly Boyabu as they come off the pitch. Maybe an honest conversation between the pair of them, but as they make their way down the tunnel, referee's not too fussed about it. And Paul Clark, a lot for Southend to be very happy with going in for the break.
I thought they were terrific in that first half. Obviously got off to the absolute perfect start with the corner in the first couple of minutes. Good delivery, and Golding couldn't believe his luck getting away at the back post, and looked almost surprised when he'd headed it into the net, but it was a really good start. And Forest Green, in contrast, were woeful for the first 5 or 10 minutes and just couldn't get in the game at all, and that wasn't much about Southend closing them down, but as you would expect, they played their way back into the game and showed that when they get around the final third they are very sharp, and that's where they want to play their football. But Southend responded well by closing down much further up the park and keeping them at arm's length so they couldn't get into those danger areas, and aside from the goal have had a number of other chances as well. So like I said to you before the game, I thought they would be competitive in the game. They've been that and some today for that first 45 minutes. Terrific performance.
I think we've got to shine a light very quickly on Tom Hopper, because clearly the tactic has been, they felt like Southend can threaten Forest Green with the high ball. They've aimed the ball at him 95% of the time. Hopper's been winning the ball and bringing other players like Andy Dallas, Harry Boyes, Scott Morris, Ollie Coker into the game.
I think Tom Hopper was brought in to go and defend corners, to give him strength for corners, but he's done so much more than that. He's been a nuisance in and around. He's not let Ryan Innes dominate things around his own penalty area, and he's shown more than that. He's got away a couple of times. just unfortunate, the one that came to him from Gus Morris double attempt, when he's headed it, he's tried to head it back where it's come from, and that's just where Ryan is happened to be. If he could have gone anywhere else with it, he'd probably got himself on the score sheet. But he's run the channels as well behind a few times. He's got on the end of things, got shots goal, played a couple of lovely little balls in for people to get shots away. It's done terrific up there.
Paul Clark, thank you very much. Victoria Polly is standing by to hear from you. You can text 81333 or WhatsApp 08000 321 333. Start your message with the word Essex. Night and day is a phrase that comes to mind as we go into the break. On Tuesday night, Southend not shining under the floodlights at Roots Hall, but blazing brightly under the sunshine in South Essex, thanks to James Golding's goal. They lead Southend United 1, Forest Green Rovers 0.
BBC Essex.
Every Monday, Sport Extra brings you the latest Essex sports news and special guests. We meet world champions.
No matter what the outcome, I was really happy with the race, and to come away with the gold and the record was pretty cool.
Rising stars.
I really did believe, I was going to go there and I was going to win, and that's what happened.
And those making a difference.
You've got a whole array of people in the area that just come to have that bit of escape each week.
BBC Essex Sport Extra
With Ian Puckey.
Monday evening
From 6.
Listen on BBC Sounds. Just ask your smart speaker to play BBC Essex.
Victoria Polly.
BBC Essex Sport.
Afternoon, 9 minutes to 4 here at Roots Hall. The sun is back out. We had all manner of weathers in that first half. A downpour at one point. Now the pitch is getting a downpour with the sprinklers back on under blue skies. With 45 minutes down, Southend United 1-0 up at the break against Forest Green Rovers. If you want to react to that, 81333 on the text, 08000 321 333 on WhatsApp. Start your message with the word Essex. We have had goals in Isthmian Premier featured game today. Two playoff hopefuls going up against each other at New Lodge. Billericay against Averley. Half-time details from Tom Larson-Wright.
And it's Billericay Town 0, Averley 2, as the rain you've just had in Roots Hall reaches us here at New Lodge. It is pouring it down here, but Averley, the away side, with a good lead at the break. The first goal coming just 9 minutes into the game. Toby Aramalaran finishing from close range after Billericay failed to clear their lines, and a cross came in from the right hand side from George Saunders. Low cross. All Aramalaran had to do was stick out a foot and put it into the back of the net. So an early lead for the away side. After that, the game had a bit of a lull in the middle of this first half, but as it drew towards a close, it was Billericay Town, the home side, who looked the most likely to bring themselves level. Tommy Davis, the centre half, hitting the crossbar of a header after Billericay had a succession of corners, and then a few minutes after that, Elliot Long striking the post from the right of the area. It was just moments later, though, that Averley went up the other end, dispossessing the home side. Ramalaran, the goal scorer, running towards goal, taking on his man and being brought down in the box. And then Ollie Peters stepped up, blasted the penalty into the right corner to get his 13th goal of the season and increase Averley's lead. So it's going to need a big team talk from Billericay boss Danny Scopes to get his side back into this one at the break at New Lodge as the sun comes back out again here. Billericay Town 0, Averley 2.
Thank you very much, Tom. Second half updates to come from that one. I'll take you through all the scores from that division and around the county as well very shortly, but let me take you into the Premier League first of all and round up the half-time scores from elsewhere. It's goalless between Burnley and Bournemouth and Sunderland and Brighton, so no goals so far in the Premier League. We didn't have any early games. Later on, Arsenal take on Everton at 5:30, as did Chelsea and Newcastle meet, and then it's West Ham against Manchester City at 8 o'clock this evening. In the Scottish Premiership, it's Aberdeen 0, Falkirk 0, Celtic 1, Motherwell 1, and Hibernian against Livingston is goalless. In the Championship, earlier the leaders Coventry were beaten 2-1 at home by Southampton, Middlesbrough 1, Bristol City 1, and Oxford United 1, Charlton 1. Half-time scores: Birmingham 1, Sheffield United 1. Sheffield United reduced to 10 men, but Patrick Bamford equalising on the stroke of half-time. Leicester are all square 1-1 against QPR. Goalless between Millwall and Blackburn. It's Norwich 2, Preston 0. Sheffield Wednesday against Ipswich is goalless. Stoke 1, Watford 0. And West Brom 1, Hull 0. Hull also down to 10 men. In League One, earlier it finished the leaders Lincoln 3, Stockport County 1, Rotherham United 2, Bolton 2. And the half-time scores: Doncaster 1, Blackpool 0. Exeter 0, Cardiff, who sits second 2, Leyton Orient 1, Peterborough United 0, Mansfield 0, Barnsley 1, Northampton, who are second from bottom 0, Burton 1, Port Vale against Huddersfield is goalless, Reading 2, Plymouth 1, Stevenage 1, AFC Wimbledon 0, Wigan Athletic lead Bradford by a goal to 0, and it's Wycombe 0, Luton 2. In League 2, earlier it finished Harrogate 0, Salford City 1. That was an 85th minute winner for Salford to keep them in playoff contention and heap more misery on Harrogate, who are bottom of the table. And Notts County 2, Chesterfield 3, two playoff rivals going up against each other. Notts County were down to 10 men early on in that one. Half-time scores from League 2, Barnet 1, Newport County 0, Barrow against Accrington is goalless, Bromley the leaders 1, Bristol Rovers 0, Cambridge United 2, Gillingham 0, Crewe 0, Walsall 1, Matt Sadler leaving Walsall during the week. Goalless between Fleetwood and Tranmere, Oldham Athletic and Grimsby, and Shrewsbury and Cheltenham, and it's Swindon 0, MK Dons 1. In the National League earlier, Wealdstone beat Solihull Moors by 5 goals to 1. The half-time scores: Aldershot 0, York City 1, Boston United 1, Yeovil 1, Brackley against Woking is goalless, Gateshead 1, Sutton United 0, two of the league's strugglers going up against each other. FC Halifax 2, Boreham Wood 1. That's a result that will, half-time score that will interest Southend United fans. A reminder here, Southend 1, Forest Green Rovers 0, second half commentary on the way for you. It's goalless between Tamworth and Carlisle, and Truro and Hartlepool. And we have 3 5:30 kickoffs tonight. Not only do Braintree Town go to Morecambe, it's also Eastleigh against Rochdale and Scunthorpe United against Altrincham. In the National League South, Chelsea City trail at Worthing. They are 2 goals to 0 down there. They are into a long period of stoppage time at the end of the first half. That was because they had a pause due to a medical emergency. That is a later score at the moment. Worthing 2, Chelmsford City 0. Worthing started the day in third. Chelmsford were looking to get themselves within 2 points of the National South playoff places. Isthmian Premier, you've heard about Billericay 0, Averley 2 at New Lodge, our featured game. More updates to come from Tom Larson-Wright. Elsewhere, it's Chatham 3, bottom of the table, Canvey Island 0, and the other games involving an Essex side, or our 2 Essex sides meeting. United 1, Brentwood Town 1. Isthmian North for you, half-time scores. 2 of the informed team in the league going up against each other. Bowes and Pitsea 0, Waltham Abbey 1, Concord Rangers 2, Downham Town 0, Brightling Sea Regent are goalless against Cambridge City. It's Grays Athletic 0, Maldon and Tiptree 1. Maldon and Tiptree sit second, but they do have 2 games in hand on the leaders Felixstowe and Walton United, who are a goal up at Wroxham. Haybridge Swifts against Tilbury is goalless. It is Redbridge 1, Whittam Town 0, Stanway Rovers goalless with Galston, Takeley 1, Walthamstow 0 is the scores from that division. We'll also bring you the Essex Senior League full-time scores. We'll keep up to date with what is going on for Harlow in the Spartan South Midlands as well, and we will bring you all the scores from the Thurlow Nunn Divisions too. Let's go into Rugby Union Six Nations Super Saturday to finish things off today. The first of those games is approaching full time. It is Ireland 36, Scotland 21. Later, Wales and Italy meet, and then it's France against England to finish the day. So all eyes were on Scotland in that first one, hoping to chase the Triple Crown, but with Ireland winning in that game, that is not looking likely, and England later on will be looking to avoid the wooden spoon. So that's how things stand at the moment for those sides involved in the Six Nations. As the rain starts again, or is that even hail it might be coming down on the pitch with those substitutes warming up out there. So I said we'd had all manner of weathers, but that certainly looks heavy enough to be hail at the moment here. You don't need the sprinklers on with that coming down around Roots Hall, but the sun is still trying to pierce its way through those clouds that have darkened as well here. BBC Essex Sport, Victoria Polly with you. Don't forget those ways to get in touch to let us know your thoughts, whether you're listening along to the commentary or if you're out and about watching some football as well around the county today. Welcome to get in touch at BBC Essex Sport on X, and you can get us on the phone as well. 81333 on the text, 08000 321 333 on WhatsApp. Start your message with the word Essex. We're on air until 6, so we'll have all the reaction from here at Roots Hall, round up all the scores from elsewhere and reflect on the rest of the weekend's action for you on the programme, keeping up to date with everything you need to know about sport here in Essex. It is 4 o'clock.
BBC Essex Sport.
Afternoon, Victoria Polly with you on BBC Essex Sport, where after a storming first half, Southend United lead Forest Green by a goal to nil.
Again aims towards the far post and the header, James Golding! It's in! Sprinting start for Southend United. 2 minutes late, James Golding, almost a year to the day since he scored his last goal, and he climbed higher than Forest Green, higher than 6'6" Ryan Innes, and put Southend United ahead early doors. Southend United 1, Forest Green Rovers 0. High ball into Andy Dallas, chase this left side of the penalty area. Onto his right foot, cuts into the penalty area, back flick into Harry Boyes, the room will open up, plays it across the area, but it's cleared away. Andy Dallas bearing down, has Scott Morris on the right side, he'll play it into him, he cuts inside, plays it across to Ollie Coker, he miscues a Pyer Forson, can't sneak it in, just got the ball caught under his feet, edge of the 6-yard box, and allowed Harry Isted the time to get across. Now Dallas needs options, he's got one in Scott Morris, first time, cleared, Scott Morris with the follow-up header, Tom Hopper cleared off the line again. Boys might follow this up, goes down outside the penalty area, referee says no. Scott Morris attempted the shot, first time right-footed in the penalty area, pushed away by Isted, it was up into the air, followed up with a header by Scott Morris. Hopper wanted to help it on its way, but it was cleared off the line by Ryan Innes.
Plenty of chances then for Southend, just the one goal. Can they capitalise on that in the second half and extend their lead? Second half commentary on the way in our featured game in the Isthmian Premier. Two playoff hopefuls going up against each other, and it's Aveley who lead Billericay.
In this left side, takes one touch and crosses it into the box. Ball bouncing around there, and it's saved by North. 7 minutes played at New Lodge. The first real chance of the game falls to the home side, Billericay Town. A ball into the box from Alfie Cerulli. Wasn't dealt with by Aveley. A shot came towards goal, but it was bouncing, and eventually the Aveley keeper North managed to get his hands on it. Pressure keeps coming from Aveley, and it's in! First goal of the game goes to the away side. It's Billericay Town 0, Aveley 1. And I think it's come off with Billericay defender last. The goal scorer, Ramalaran, running forward into the box then, holding off his man, goes down in the box. Referee says penalty. On standing about 3 steps away from it, it's going to be a right-footed shot. Here comes Peters, and it's into the right-hand corner, and it's Billericay Town 0, Aveley 2.
Updates to come on that one in the second half. Keep up to date with all the scores from elsewhere across Essex. But time for the second half here at Roots Hall. Commentary of Southend United, who lead Forest Green Rovers by a goal to nil on BBC Essex, all frequencies and online. It's 2 minutes past 4.
BBC Essex Sport.
Thank you, Victoria. People making their way back to their seats at Roots Hall. Someone not making their way back onto the field is Tate Campbell. A half-time substitution for Forest Green Rovers sees Jaden Clark come into the fray, the former Tottenham youth player who joined over the summer from Gillingham. City midfielder, so very much a like-for-like change, that one, but Jaden Clark does bring attacking intent. I know he was at the centre of that in the reverse fixture where he started. As it stands, Southend leading 1-0 as we get ready to restart. Southend in their dark blue shirts and shorts and white socks, kicking from left to right. The goalkeeper all in green, Forest Green Rovers all in pink, goalkeeper all in blue, kicking from right to left. As Southend play it down the right wing, but it's cleared away. No changes for Southend at the break, and Dengendy in goal. Back three of Taylor, Golding and Gubbins. Scott Morris on the right, Boys on the left in possession and shooting! Fierce from Harry Boys. 25 yards out, got it onto his left foot, drove from distance, and was thinking about getting on the score sheet again. He's on the left wing, James Morton in front of the defence, Coker and Appiah Forson in midfield, Dallas and Hopper leading the line. Forest Green, Isted in goal, Ahmed, Innis, Kanu and Boyavo in the back four. Mendy now alongside Jaden Clark, who's coming to take Campbell. McAllister the captain on the right, Knowles on the left, Nwoku in the middle, Mellor leading the line. And Paul Clark, 50 seconds in, Southend starting the second half as they ended the first.
Just pleasing to see Boys take responsibility from there. He was 25-30 yards out and got it on his left foot and just went, you know what, gonna have a shot. He got a really good strike, wasn't that far off target. Gus Scott Morris.
Gilly Boyabo is having stern words with Mark Bentley of Southend
because Gus Scott Morris is like playing up on it. He never touched him.
Boyabo's in possession now for Forest Green. Will whip a ball into the penalty area. There's a volley from Knowles. It was a clever idea with his left foot, just left at the penalty spot. Tried to loop it over in Dengendy, but it's wide of goal. So just talk us through. There was a moment off the ball between Scott Morris and Gilly Boyabo. Scott Morris has stayed down, holding his face. Mayer and Bentley straight out to the fourth official, Matthew Norton. Boyabo's still having words.
The complaint would be it's a head injury, and the referee stopped it in the first half for the Forest Green Rovers player with the with Andy Dallas, I beg your pardon. Stopped it immediately. This one, whether the lad caught him or not, the referee didn't see, and Gus Scott Morris is holding his head, so really you'd expect the referee to be stopping it, and this is why Kevin was moaning, because obviously Forest Green was on the attack, and the referee just allowed them to keep going.
John Gowans using the magic towel, and Gus Scott Morris, and also checking his nose as well. So I say he stayed on the ground about 30 seconds until play stopped.
Over to him,
so a word between the referee Paul Howard and head coach of Southend Kevin Mayer as the boos around us in the East Stand ring round for the man in the middle. It's a long conversation, this one, and again Scott Morris will have to go off for around 30 seconds just to check he's okay. But again, also making the point, because it's been a little sideshow between Scott Morris and Boyabo, and it's on the verge of just tipping over, that one, if something else were to happen.
Yeah, well, he's got to be careful, Gus, because he has taken the yellow card, and I didn't see whether he did actually get caught or not. He's trying to point out to the referee a little mark on his face. But the two of them was going at it, and as you say, we're even having a little push and shove as they was coming over from that far side. It all calmed down a little bit when they got closer to the dugout, but Gus still having a go at the lad now.
There's some wry smiles between the pair of them in what some would describe as healthy competition, but maybe not some of the Southend fans around us. 3.5 minutes into this second half, Southend 1, Forest Green 0 on BBC Essex Sport. Warren Muggleton, former Blues player and manager. Paul Clark watching this one. A few clouds making their way over. East and West and South stands. Well packed out, North Bank on its feet. A couple of hundred Forest Green fans on the near side of the North Bank. Had a goal in the Premier League. Sunderland leading Brighton 1-0. Only 2 games in that one. Long way for Brighton to travel. Header's almost won by Andy Dallas. He's taken control of the ball. Another high one, straight down the middle of Forest Green, but goes down under the pressure of Kanu and Mendy. And as Forest Green tries to play out, Morton intercepts. Hasn't escaped from Forest Green's half yet. Out to the left wing on the far side. Boys in front of the West Standers fans continue to make their way back.
That's what I like seeing from James Morton there. The ball came into him, one touch, just get it moved on again, as Dallas does well.
Oh, he's gone down. He was in the penalty area, offside, as Paul Clark says. First offside we've seen in the game.
But yeah, it's nice when it goes into James Morton. You just see him popping off those passes, one touch, and just keeps it moving.
Something we've just seen Jaden Clark do. He's already probably the most mobile player out of Forest Green that we've seen so far. One touch passes, always looking for the space. It's something for James Morton to be aware of. So it goes backwards to Boyabo. The boos ring in again. Here's Clark again. Out to Ryan Innis. Right wing, far side. back from McAllister. And his pass intercepted by Coker. Boys will lift this into Andy Dallas. He gets his body in the way to ensure that it doesn't work away from Forest Green's penalty area. And the pass is straight at Harry Boys, and this is a gift for Southend if they can use it well. Coker will play this into the far post. Scott Morris climbing, but it's just to the right of goal. And again, he's gone down holding his face, Scott Morris. It was quite a height he landed from. He's off the field, as Harry Isted, the goalkeeper, also checks on him alongside Paul Howard.
I think it might be his back of his head, is it? Yeah, as he's gone at the back post there, he's come down. And as you know, the ground from there really slopes away. He's gone down there and then onto the track. But
it's
really
another shot, another go.
It was a gift. Again, Forest Green trying to play out, just giving it straight to James Morgan.
Golding looking to win the header, but Mendy gets there first, and Dengendy calls to Gubbins to leave, and he will gobble that ball up as it trickles towards him. Kevin Mayer
waving them forward, yeah, absolutely. Don't want to play in that area.
Plan A. The kick from the keeper will be controlled by Scott Morris and Hopper. Lovely flick from Hopper down the wing. Scott Morris doesn't get there ahead of Kanu of Forest Green, but it's a throw-in to Southend. How about this? Another penalty at the New Lodge. We'll see how this throw from Scott Morris develops, and then we'll hop over to the New Lodge. As it was 2-0 to Averley at Billericay Town in the Isthmian Premier. Tom Larson-Wright watching that one. We'll go back to him once this long throw-in is played. Short option of Appiah Forson and Coker down the touchline. Coker into Appiah Forson. Well worked between the midfielders. Plays it into the middle to James Golding. Can't get the ball out of his feet in order to get a shot away. And now a ball played by Nwoko into Mellor. But James Gubbins with a brilliantly timed tackle. Absolutely superb. Throw in for Forest Green. They want to play it quickly into Nwoku, but Appiah Forson sneaks in, and it just means a couple of yards will be gained by Forest Green for this throw. We'll stay with the action and then go to New Lodge when we get a break. Still 1-0 to Southend. 8 minutes into this second half on BBC Essex Sport. On air until 6 o'clock. It'll be Tom Knowles take this one, formerly of Chelmsford, over 2 spells, 5 goals and 24 appearances. And knows Essex well.
One assumes it's going to be long. Centre halves have all gone up.
I say that he had a little slip on the edge of the grass as he was about to take his throw. Long throw. We'll find the edge of the 6-yard box, but Hopper there to clear it away. Dallas tries to help it on as far as Ahmed. Support from Clark. Out to McAllister on the right wing, who'll play it into the middle, but it's straight at Ndengendi, who climbs to collect. Let's go over now to the New Lodge. Averley were leading Billericay 2-0. Tom Larson-Wright, there has been a penalty. Number 1, has it been taken? And number 2, who is it for?
It has been taken, and it's for Billericay Town. They're back in this one. It's exactly the start to the second half that manager Danny Scopes would have wanted. Billericay had a free kick delivered into the box. Averley couldn't get it away. Eventually a Billericay player went down under the challenge. Referee pointed to the spot, and up stepped Alfie Truly back into the side this afternoon, planted it into the bottom left hand corner, his 11th goal of the season, and Billericay are back in it. It's Billericay 1, Averley 2.
Colin Ndengendi has stayed down in front of the Frank Walton stand, taking some treatment on his right knee from John Gowans as the players receive advice. For Southend it's from Kevin Mayer. For Forest Green Rovers it's from the technical staff, minus Robbie Savage, serving the second game of a 2-match suspension.
No keeper on the bench either.
And that's to be borne in mind. Owen Mason picked up an injury in the game against Carlisle United. The bench features for Southend Ben Goodliff, Jack Bridge, Sam Austin, Josh Walker, Slavi Spazov, Charlie Kendall and Noah Mawani.
Looks like his thigh might have been just a dead leg by the looks of it, the way he's rubbing at his thigh there.
The only thing that crosses my mind is the injury he picked up against Dagenham and Redbridge last January. That was a hamstring injury on his right leg, which kept him out for a lot of the season. Part of the reason we saw Nick Hayes come into the club.
Nah, he's alright.
But he's alright. Colin Ndengendi. 24th appearance in the National League this season. First against Forest Green in nearly 1.5 years. Last time he featured against them was the 2-2 draw here at Roots Hall in November 2024. Again, Forest Green go for the high ball. Taylor's clearance met by Knowles. But a rebound for Southend by Golding. He'll play it down the right wing. And Kanu decides backwards is best.
I don't think he knows he's coming.
Into Innes and Ahmed. They're combining passes but edge of their own penalty area. Innes has to turn back. And instead with the first time ball to the right wing on the far side. Onto the head of Southend's Gubbins. Now maybe another chance for Harry Boyes. Into Coker. Down the left wing. Who just dances over the ball. Drifting further away from the touchline. Options in Morton and Boyes. Will make room for the cross, which is to Bill. Tom Hopper with the header, but it's to the left of goal. Edge of the 6-yard box, straight on his head. Tom Hopper can't guide that underneath, and the ball nestles into the well packed out North Bank. Still 1-0.
Yeah, it's poor defending from Ryan Innes in the first place. He just backed away from Boyes and invited him to put the cross in, which he accepted the invitation. Then Hopper did really well to make the run across the defender, get in front of him. Just got too good a contact on it, really. Wanted to glance it in, give it a chance of going at the far post, but got too much on it.
A couple of scores coming in from the National League. Halifax and Borehamwood now all square at 2-2. Carlisle leading Tamworth 1-0 on the road, as are Hartlepool United at Truro. All of this does mean, as it stands, Southend leapfrogging Halifax into 7th and into the playoffs. As Southend win a throw-in 10 yards from the touchline. Again, Scott Morris straight over to it, the 28-year-old.
And win it is the correct description. It was really good pressure again from Tom Hopper on a ball which he had no right to go for. Defenders ball all day long, but he put him under enough pressure again and won the throw.
Scott Morris will wind up this time, find the edge of the 6-yard box. Hopper does get a header onto it. Golding keeps it alive into Dallas, who tries to control it on the turn, but the touch was heavy and straight to Harry Isted, whose kick along the grass will be straight to Southend's Taylor. Under a bit of pressure from Knowles, but Taylor with the coolest of heads. He might even find the head of Tom Hopper. Controlled by Dallas. Brings a Pia Forson in. First time cross into the middle for Tom Hopper. Goes down in the area. Is it still alive? Dallas gets there. Cleared away by Forest Green. There were looks to the referee as Tom Hopper was challenged by Ryan Innes, but he said no penalty. And Dengan Dees come out of his area to collect a long ball. Bounces off the roof in front of this east stand. And another moment for Southend, but Forest Green Rovers really scrapping to clear their lines.
I'm not sure there wasn't a little trip on Tom Hopper on that first one when he went to get in there, and then from that point on it was a little bit of pinball in and around the box. But I'd love to see that first one again. Not that it's going to make any difference, but
in the Premier League, I said Sunderland had taken the lead against Brighton 1-0. That was ruled out for VAR. Now Brighton are leading as Ollie Coker drives to the penalty area. He goes down in the area. Fans on their feet all around us. But again, the referee says no. Falls to a Pia Forson! Wide of the goal. It spins away, and you can hear the fury echoing around Roots Hall. Ollie Coker with a superb driving run into the area. Tackles came in on both sides. Goes down in the area. Cleared away as far as the Pia Forson edge of the final third, shot from outside the area, and it spins away to the right of goal. Paul Clark, penalty?
Well, first thing to say, great play from Coker to go and attack the box like that. My only question would be, was he actually in the box? Because I'm pretty sure it was a foul, and yeah, my gut reaction was that's a pen.
A Pia Forson and Tom Hopper through space for Ollie Coker. Southend straight on the attack after Forest Green Rovers had cleared the ball away. Boyes skipping past Ahmed, wants the 1-2 from Coker. It will just go out of play for a Southend throw-in. 4 shots on goal in this second half, Paul Clark, for Southend. Nothing from Forest Green, bar one drive down the area. Kevin Mayer may have his head tucked into his snood, but you just feel the opportunity is coming for Southend, more so than Forest Green.
Yeah, but we've been here before, haven't we? Lots of chances.
Oh, we have. Boyes making some space for himself in the penalty area. Just poked away by Nwoko. Back to Boyes in the area. He goes down, but there's a clean tackle from Mendy, and now Forest Green looks to counter at pace. Boyabu's joined Mellor. It's played out to the right with Carl McAllister. This is where Forest Green are dangerous. He's into the area, wants it on his right foot, gets past one tackle, looks to chip the keeper, but a big hand from Colin and Denganzi pushes it over the touchline, and it's a corner kick. First time in the second half. They must have heard me, Paul Clark, that Forest Green have attacked at pace. They'll take the corner short. It's into Knowles from McAllister from the right corner on the far side, but the cross will be straight to Harry Boyes. Controlled by Mendy, who made that tackle. And he'll shoot from distance, and Dengandi's pushed it away, but it's to Scott Morris of Southend. and he'll push that down the right wing. Dallas might try to sneak in, but Jaden Clark is there. A breathless couple of minutes here at Roots Hall, but it's still 1-0.
Get your money's worth, aren't you, today?
Certainly are. Mendy found a way into Knowles, turned in the penalty area, but well dealt with by Golding and Taylor.
Yeah, brilliant.
You sense that connection growing stronger. Dallas into a Pia Forson. Now Southend can get on the counter. Jaden Clark with a good tackle, but Dallas will look to get there first, and another one from Carnu. Yeah, the fans around us are up on their feet, but actually, Paul Clark, 2 really good tackles for Forest Green.
Yeah, both good tackles. Unfortunately, the players went down as they're making them, but yeah, just hooking the ball as they're going in. It's good competitive football, nothing wrong with that, exciting stuff.
Well, 60 minutes into the game.
It's better than that tedious passing about stuff, isn't it? Certainly a better watch.
Dallas
there, Andy Dallas doing
ball.
It back to them. Brilliant. Well done, Andy.
He'll want to get back amongst the goals as well. Look for his 13th of the season, all of them coming in the National League. The outright top scorer at Southend, overtaking Scott Morris. This is Forest Green with some possession, trying to put a press on Southend. Continue their unbeaten run. 2 wins in a row coming into this game. Biabu's made a run, but Nwoko's infield to Clark. Brought in some black boots. Back to Carnu. We'll go back to New Lodge. I hear there's been another goal. It might be a completely different story at the New Lodge. Let's take that opportunity now to Larson Wright.
Yeah, 60 minutes played, Warren, and it's Billericay Town at 2, Aveley 2, the home side back on level terms. It's Alfie Cerulli once again. No sooner had Aveley had a shot saved, a brilliant volleyed effort from captain Ryan Henshaw. Billericay went straight up the other end. A cross-come shot wasn't cleared from Aveley, and there was Cerulli at the back post on the left-hand side to tap into an empty net. Incidentally, he's just come off. I think he's picked up an injury. 2 goals for him in this game. Aveley threw away a 2-goal advantage at the break in this reverse fixture, and they've done it again. Billericay Town 2, Aveley 2.
Forest Green Rovers preparing a substitution. Trey Pemberton will be coming into the game as Mendy tries to hold off a Pia Forson, but won't get the ball away from Hopper, who snuck in. Needs an overlapping run from Taylor and gets it, and now a foul is given as Mendy makes the tackle on Hopper, and it will be a free kick for Southend in line with the right edge of the penalty area, 30 yards from the touchline, 5 yards from the right wing, and maybe a feeling amongst the home fans, Paul Clark, that there should be something coming for them from the referee Paul Howard.
Listen,
well, that's only their feeling.
I'm never one to go to start calling for people to be cautioned or anything like that, but it's just getting a bit tetchy, so perhaps the referee might need to pick one of them and go, right, here's a yellow card, just to calm everybody down a little bit. I mean, listen, it's one of those, the crowd are getting, every time a blue shirt goes down, they're going to be baying for the free kicks, but referee's just having a long conversation.
This is with
Mendy, is it?
Laurent Mendy, yeah. One of the Macclesfield players, 4 years at the club before making the jump up from the Northern Premier League into the National League. Substitution, a second for Forest Green. This is Akshkar Ahmed on in place of another former Macclesfield player, Trey Pemberton. Normally a right winger, but might well slot into the right back position.
But this is what you want at the moment. You want the crowd. This is what I was saying to you last week, how you just want something to happen into a game to give everybody a lift and keep that excitement, keep that tempo going, because it just signs that Forest Green Rovers just starting to get a grip and get a hold of the ball, and you don't want Southend getting drawn back into defending that final third. And this just gives them a little bit of encouragement just to keep going, keep that pressure on.
Yeah, they've certainly been on the attack, Southend, in this second half. Harry Boyes with this free kick, aimed towards the far post, but headed away. Morton with the volley, but spins away to the left of goal, and it will be a goal kick. And actually, it's those moments, it's those set pieces. And Harry Boyes did say it in his interview on the club feed on BBC Sounds. Southend have had joy from set pieces, and they have been able to work them well, defend them well. Now find themselves scoring from them. Ryan Ennis, the former Southend player, also a bit of time at Colchester United as well, on his loan spells from Crystal Palace on the other side of the Thames. This is Abraham Carnu, a loanee, gone from north to south, now east to west. He's joined on loan from Reading at the start of the season. So McAllister has lifted this for Mellor to chase into the right corner. Golding trying to sneak in ahead of him. Pemberton's first involvement sees him unable to keep the ball in play on the right wing in front of the West Stand, so it's a throw in for Southend. There's another smattering of light raindrops makes its way across the turf at Roots Hall.
He's not had his most successful day up there, Mellor, has he? No, there's not an awful lot. I mean, he hasn't had great service, but even the ones that he's had, he's chased in, but he's never been able to get it under control and bring other people into it.
Certainly brought up in good places as a Manchester United youth until 2022. Made one appearance for the Red Devils in the Europa League against Astana in 2019.
But he got good service then.
Oh yeah. Excellent reception. Southend win the ball back again. Right. Boys will lift this down the wing. Dallas gets the first time touch. Scott Morris has got room on the right side of the penalty area. Dallas needs to get it out of his feet, but the pressure's on him from Boyabu. Pushes into ground, and the referee does give the free kick.
Tell you what, he did so well in the first place to get on the end of that ball, and all it was. And I think he was trying to do it, just get it out of his feet and get a bit of space, because Gus Scott Morris has made a hell of a run from fullback and there was nobody anywhere near him, so if he could have switched it, it was a great opportunity, but he just couldn't get it away from the defender.
Imagine Scott Morris desperate to get amongst the goals again. He last scored 7 games ago in that trip to Brackley Town, something of a drought by his standards. There'll be a mirror image free kick for Harry Boys. Left wing, 25 yards from the touchline. Boys to cross left-footed, aim for the right post. Again it aims at Hopper, but Jaden Clark gets the head onto it for Forest Green. Knowles can't clear his line. Appiah Forson's into the penalty area, tries to play it across. The clearance will fall kindly to Golding in the area, and Forest Green able to clear away, but no one else in pink anywhere near the halfway line to put pressure on Harry Taylor, who could have gone forward but instead went back to Ndengendi, and a few groans at that, but then he showed off an excellent piece of skill to send Tom Knowles running into the next dimension. Innes winning the header but just slipping to ground against Dallas. Another high ball from Forest Green, another header one for Joe Gubbins. Jaden Clark with too much time on the ball. Dallas sneaks in, a little miscue, and Southend trying to get the ball back, which they will. Dallas jests into Coker. He's so involved in everything for Southend today, Andy Dallas. He's the link between all the players at the moment. He picks it up left side of the penalty area, drives it across the area, but no one else in blue onto it. Only Tom Hopper and Appiah Forson edge of the 6-yard box, and it'll be a goal kick. We've got nearly 22 minutes to go, and it's Southend 1, Forest Green 0.
With tongue firmly implanted in cheek. Why wasn't Gus Scott Morris getting on the back post there? 99 times out of 100 you'd have expected him to be in there. That one time that ball got fizzed across there, he hadn't gone, and you should have seen the look of disappointment on his face when he turned away from it. He was thinking, oh, if only I'd been there that time. But hey, what great play from Andy Dallas in the first place. He's been immense for Blues today, led that line really, really well.
But he's been almost more involved with the midfielders, more than I've seen in the last couple of games.
He's been a nuisance to their midfield. He's come back and sneakily been winning balls off of their midfield as well, and then starting attacks off. It's not a case of him just staying up there and feeding off the balls that's been given into him. He's worked tremendously hard.
Southend United.
Oh, you lucky.
Or Mendy's ball just about will fall to Jaden Clark, otherwise Tom Hopper was on his right shoulder ready to sneak in. Forest Green in possession in Southend's half. Boyabu into Knowles, but pushed backwards by Morton. That's Chibi Nwoko, we've rarely talked about in this game, to be honest. He seems to be very much out on loan from the Fulham Academy. Scored against Gateshead, but yeah, barely involved today. Oh, Abraham Kanu juggling with the ball in his own half edge of the centre circle. Now to Nwoko, lifts this down the left wing. He's asked a lot of Jilly Boyabu to chase that over the byline in front of the Frank Walton stand, and Colin Ndengendi will take his time.
Well, if he's going to get involved, he can do more of that. His mate showed to go long for it, and then check back just as his head went down to play it, and it was a nothing ball in the end.
And Nwoko, one of the latest players to join the side. Forest Green Rovers, the joint 4th most players used in the National League, 37 used in total.
Only joint 4th with 37 on.
Well, do you know who were first?
No, go on.
Gateshead. Bearing in mind the well, the Rob Elliott revolution, you might call it, that's going on under there. Because actually, when you look at the form, Gateshead, second from bottom, but fourth in the form table over the last 6 games. Forest Green Rovers, 5th from top, but 17th in the form guide over the last 6 games. Sometimes there's more to the numbers than meets the eye to look a bit deeper. And Southend win a throw-in. But maybe that is a factor into why things are going the way for Southend. But a lot of that is because Southend have been so much on the front foot, so much attack is the best form of defence. Rarely have they made backward passes or sideways.
Well, they barely give anybody in a pink shirt a moment to breathe, have they? Or a yard of space at all.
Boys tries to sneak his way through the pink shirts and wins himself a corner in front of the North Bank. First one of this second half for Southend, to be taken by Ollie Coker. If you get plenty more sports in action across the BBC, Formula 1 Chinese Grand Prix tomorrow morning at 7 o'clock. Ollie Behrman of Chelmsford involved. Sports Extra, of course, covering all sorts of different sports in the county on Monday, 6 till 7 on BBC Essex. Make sure you tune in. Ollie Coker with this corner kick, right-footed from the right corner as his shadows of the West Stand grow longer. He'll aim towards the post on this near side. The header from Innes sees Morton, just dummy, the cross into Ollie Coker. There's movers at the back. Scott Morris 2-0. You cannot say it hasn't been coming. And Scott Morris, he wasn't there for one of those chances, but as the lovely lofted ball from left to right fell to him from Ollie Coker, Gus Scott Morris was always going to get a toe onto that one. Goal number 12 of the season for the goal scoring machine, who celebrates in front of a jubilant North Bank. And Southend do have their second. Southend United 2, Forest Green Rovers 0.
Told you, 99 times out of 100 he's there. He missed the last one, so he was due to be there. But, great little ball again from the ball came back from the corner, missed everybody out of the back post, and it was a simple tap in for him. But it's the effort to go in there again, and that movement from him, it just keeps on the move. It's such a pain in the neck to be able to mark from dead balls, and that's why people struggle, because most players make a run on the corner and it doesn't come to them and they stand still, and so the guy marking them gets a bit of a breather. But Gus Scott Morris doesn't do that. The first ball doesn't come, so he turns around and he'll go look for the next one, and if that doesn't come, he keeps on the move again. And that's why he gets himself in space so often.
Triple substitution from Forest Green in response. First of all, Nick Horton on in place of Tom Knowles. Next up, Gabe Kirchhoff, who joined from also one of the many players to joined from Tenebont in Wales. He comes into the defence for Ryan Innes. His return is over. And we've seen another change from Forest Green Rovers as well, but before I get to that one, a standing ovation for Ollie Coker as he'll make way Paul Clark for Sam Austin.
Hey, that's probably as well or as positive as I've seen Ollie Coker do for a full, what is it, 75 minutes. He's been excellent in there, showed a willingness to drive forward, to get shots at goal, competed in midfield. I thought he's done terrific today for Blues.
The third substitution for Forest Green Rovers was Jose Marquez coming into the game. Spoke earlier in the week saying they hope they can carry their form on Forest Green, but as it stands they're not doing that. 2-0 down Forest Green, with Chibi Nwoko making way as Mella tries to head into the path of the substitute Horton. It's straight into the penalty area for Ndengendi. 15 minutes to go. Paul Clark, this is exactly where Southend want Forest Green.
Yeah, because as much as they'd dominated and as well as they'd done at 1-0, you always thought, well, maybe from a dead ball or one bit of really good play from them, that they could get themselves something out of it. So that second goal. But the important thing is now, don't turn away from it. Don't go, we're 2-0 up now, we'll sit back. Just keep doing what you've been doing.
Kirchhoff back to Isted, the keeper. The sun is now beaming brightly at Roots Hall and radiating on Southend, who are in stellar form right now. Scott Morris tries to get this into Hopper. Kanu let the ball bounce in front of Hopper. Pia Forson's onto it. Right side of the penalty area. Infield to Scott Morris, but Boyabo snuck in. And there was a little bite from Scott Morris on Boyabo as he got to the ball first, and it is a free kick for Forest Green, left edge of their own penalty area on this near side.
Again, I think he made an awful lot of that challenge. Referee wasn't having any of it. Gave the free kick, and I think that was probably about all it deserved.
Kirkhoff, this is his first appearance in 4 games for Forest Green in the 2024-25 Simmery Premier Team of the season. Of course, Robbie Savage and his Welsh links bringing him to the club. Nearly 40 appearances for his country, having been brought up in the Manchester United youth setup, making spells at Birmingham City, Blackburn, Derby. And another free kick conceded by Southend. This one on the edge of the half, just on the far wing. Jaden Clark has Boyabu on his outside. Scott Morris and Hopper putting the press on. Back to Carnu. Now Kirkhoff, a little bit isolated at the back, the 21-year-old. All 5 changes made by Robbie Savage. Boy, he certainly felt since he's blinked first. As Mendy tries to drive towards the penalty area. Clark on his left in the middle of Southend territory. They're on the edge of the final third now, Forest Green. Boyabu taking on Scott Morris. It's been an eye-catching battle between those two. Horton, pocket picked by Pier Forson, tries to do it again against Jaden Clark. His touch was heavy. Throw in for Forest Green. Looks like Scott Morris is claiming to the referee that he's had an elbow from Boyabu off the ball. And again, I said that little head-to-head just threatens the ball over, and the referee Paul Howard just needs to get a grip of it. A lot of the other players staying away from it. Southend certainly keeping cool heads. As the referee has these words, a 3rd penalty of the game at the New Lodge, Tom Larson, right?
Have the opportunity. And it's Billericay Town who've got another penalty, Warren. Would you believe it? Elliot Long, the right winger, bursting away down the right flank, cutting in, getting past one player, then riding the challenge another. There was enough of a touch on him, said the referee, to award the penalty as Long fell to the floor. Cerulli, though, of course, the scorer of the first penalty for Billericay, is no longer on the pitch. So it's going to be Teddy Collis who replaced him to try and bury this one. The former Brightlingsea player, 5 goals so far this season. It's going to be a moment or so before he takes it. The ball on the spot. Collis now taking a few paces back away from the ball. Looks like this one will be a left-footed finish. North in the Aveley goal touches the crossbar. He's doing star jumps on his line. Referee just making sure everyone's in position here at New Lodge. Blows his whistle. Collis standing over the ball. And it's straight down the middle of the goal. North went to his left. He got nowhere near it. And Billericay have turned this game on its head. Billericay Town 3, Aveley 2.
What a game unfolding at the New Lodge. You'll hear all of those commentary clips after full time here at Roots Hall. Bit of frustrating news for Southend. They're making a substitution with Ben Goodliff coming on for his first appearance since the draw against Truro, but it's because James Golding has picked up an injury. The loanee from Oxford United, scorer of the first goal, who has been man-mountainous at times in this game, Paul Clark, and that will be another challenge for Kevin Mayer.
Yeah, he's done terrifically well. Read the game nicely back there when they were playing short little balls in and around people. He was bright enough to step in front sometimes and just nick balls off of people, and didn't get exposed too much by getting balls in behind him. He did particularly well, and looks like it's Walker coming on from Andy Dallas,
and he deserves a huge round of applause. I've said it before, I think Andy Dallas has been pulling the strings for Southend in the attack.
He did everything you could ask of a centre forward up there today. He as I say, he was a nuisance to their midfield, because very often their midfield would drop back to pick balls up and expecting to find a bit of space, but then Andy Dallas would be dropping from the centre forward position and come back and nicking balls off of them, and then he's running in behind as well, creating chances for other people, bringing other people into play. Thought he was absolutely terrific.
A couple of other scores. Woking leading Brackley 4-0. That was 0-0 at half time. Still 2-2 between Halifax and Boreham Wood. Tamworth have turned it around against Carlisle United thanks to Ollie Lynch. They were 1-0 down but now lead 2-1. Hartlepool still leading 1-0 as well. Free kick from Southend, aimed at Tom Hopper from Harry Taylor. Heads it forward, but Boyabu puts this one high. Won't just about find the edge of the penalty area. Inside Forest Green's half, and Southend sweep this one up again. Into the last 10 minutes. Southend 2, Forest Green Rovers 0 here on BBC Essex Sport. Warren Muggleton and Paul Clark watching this one. Makes me think of what Harry Taylor said a few weeks ago on the club feed. You've got to put the emphasis on ourselves. That's what Southend have done. They've played their own game today. As Walker picks this one up from Sam Austin, trying to help pass to himself, but Kirkhoff as Forest Green intercepts. Paul, on that point, Southend playing their own game.
Just watching this ball as Ben Goodliff manages to head it.
Good
out
first contribution.
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, they've done what pretty much Kevin's asked them to do all season, but they've only done sporadically. They've passed it well, but they've passed it quickly, 1 and 2 touch. They've harried and they've put the opposition under pressure. They've not allowed them to get their heads up and breathe and get their passing going. As the fullback
Forson has snuck in, gets there ahead of Carney with a heavy touch, all on his own, edge of the final third, into Scott Morris, who drifts in field.
And the important thing is they've done it as a unit, and they've done it consistently, because we're 82nd minute now and they're still doing it. That's what you want.
Morton a bit exposed on the edge of the centre circle in Forest Green's half. Clark has a slip. Referee says play carries on. Sam Austin's the only man nearest the ball. Josh Walker in front of him, and Tom Hopper into Josh Walker, but the pass is light.
He's got to come towards him there. He's going further and further away between defenders. Sam Austin can't get. That's where he's got to now come back towards him, get in front of the defenders so that Sam Austin can bang that pass into him and then get it back again.
Clark has lifted this down the right wing to Manny Mellor, taking up position, and Dengendy almost reading that like a golfer reading the spin of the ball, ensuring that he saw it would sneak into the penalty area to pick it up, doesn't go over the touchline, and collects it to fire this downfield again. Southend still with 2 substitutions they can make. Ball bounces for Hopper, almost wrapped up by Abraham Carnu, but the referee says it's a fair contest and Forest Green take possession back in their own half. McAllister, high ball straight down the middle, aimed at Marquez, but beaten to it by Ben Goodliff. Really great to see him back on the field.
Oh, he'll be loving that.
Boys checks inside into Sam Austin. Would have done well to get away from a pink wall enclosing around him. As Morton lifts this towards Walker. Kirkhoff gets between the man and the ball for Forest Green, who are back in possession. Get plenty of Six Nations action coming up as well. Wales against Italy, that's on BBC One. France v England, Le Crunch on 5 Live. There'll be highlights on the BBC Sport website as well. Likewise for Premier League games this afternoon as well. Still Brighton's goal at the Stadium of Light, the only goal of the 2 afternoon kickoffs. 3 o'clock kickoffs, I should say. Boyabu's picked up a loose ball, edge of Southend's penalty area, trying to get around Morton, but Keenan the Pyre Forson sneaking in again for Southend.
It goes under the radar, doesn't it? I think people don't see him around, but he's forever just ferreting out and getting in the way and getting a foot in here and niggling around people. Be horrible to play against.
Just weaves in and out, doesn't he? Mendy trying to find space for himself, but Walker of Southend in front of him. Found Clark in the middle of Forest Green Rovers territory. 6 minutes of normal time left. Southend leading the Green Army 2-0. We'll hear from Kevin Mayer and one of the players at full time. On air until 6 o'clock. Boyabu's gone down in the centre circle in front of the referee. Got a shoulder barge from Tom Hopper, and that's a bit of a gift there for Forest Green to build from.
Well, not really. They had the ball, they were passing it and moving around. It stopped everything and allowed Southend to get back into shape.
Well, McAllister's accelerated. He's into the penalty area looking for Horton. He attempted the shot. He was late because the Pyre Forson had got in. I suspect the referee might go to his pocket because Horton had already committed.
Yeah, he got taken by surprise with Pia Fulson coming in from the side like that and realised he'd overstretched, so slid in to try to recover it. But Pia Fulson again doing exactly what he did 30 seconds ago, just being a nuisance and getting his body in the way.
8,702 fans in attendance, with 178 from Forest Green. We've had very little to get out of their seats about today, but Southend have been really treated today, Paul, as well. They've made this what Kevin Mayer likes to call for as well, make Roots Hall a difficult place to go.
Yeah, but then the players have got to do their bit. And obviously getting the goal that early helps. But like I said before, they've both fed off each other. I think the 14, 15 that have been in the blue shirts today been absolutely magnificent and made this Forest Green side look distinctly average, and I'm being kind when I say average.
Yeah. This does not look like a side sitting 5th in the table on 65 points, 10 ahead of Southend United, but you have to bear in mind Southend do have 3 games in hand, and the interesting thing about this is they can catch them with those 3 games in hand. You beat me to it, Paul. We're on the same wavelength. We're on the same wavelength, Paul.
But I tell you what, this is going to, and I apologise to Forest Green Rovers fans, but I wish some of their players were as good as they think they were. When I watch them like strolling about and knocking passes about and little step overs and doing nothing, and they've not even been in the game, and you think, you ain't that good, mate.
Southend United, and Dengendy, a bit of a heavy touch, and Nick Horton trying to sneak in, the former filed man. But Boys and Dengendy keeping their confidence under that pressure. Just about to say that Southend United's attendance today of 8,702, their second biggest, third biggest of the season. The largest was the 8,798 for that game, last game of 2025 against Sutton. York City 8,735, the first midweek game of the season, as Noah Mawani prepares for his Southend debut and Slavi Spazov comes off the bench.
Yeah, I always like watching opposition players when they stand in front of you and they're doing step overs and drag backs, and you just stand there and look at them and go, yeah, that's nice, I'm still here, you ain't beat me yet.
3 minutes of normal time left. Southend 2, Forest Green 0.
There's been an awful lot of that, some players in pink shirts today.
And that's the thing as well, just watching Jaden Clark there on the ball, he's always taken 1 or 2 touches, but Sam Austin straight away trying to get the ball off him. Pemberton to put a cross in for Forest Green, headed away by Joe Gubbins. Out to Boyaba, who will run to collect this on the left wing in front of the East Stand, who welcome him with boos. 3 players in dark blue around Boyaba, forced backwards to Carnu. As Carnu across to Mendy, who joined from Macclesfield. Out to Jaden Clark, Pemberton. And Forest Green just looking, almost struggling to find the options. Southend has been so disciplined as well in keeping their press, as Pia Fulson tries to win the ball from Mendy but shows off some skills of his own. But Walker with a bit of muscle this time. Morton threading this into Harry Boyes. Can he get there ahead of Kirkhoff? No, good tackle from the Welshman. Bit more whip on it, maybe Boyes might have beaten the young Welshman to the ball. McAllister for Forest Green. Just a little wave of momentum.
He's looked a good player.
Yeah. McAllister into Pemberton, puts a ball into the middle for Mellor, but it's saved by Ndengendy. Staying sharp to the last, able to punch that ball away straight at him. But say only the second shot of this second half of Forest Green Rovers.
Yeah, and as you say, straight at him. Didn't ask him any questions at all.
Josh Walker's gone down under a foul from Carnu, near side of the centre circle.
By the way, that was never a foul. He's towed it round him, then just left his leg on the floor and dragged it along the floor, gone to the ground. The referee's bought it.
So here comes another Southend debut this season. Keenan Pia Fulson making way for Noah Mawani as Tom Hopper comes off for Slavi Spazov.
Well, both of them been absolutely terrific. Does a lot of the dirty work in the midfield there, and you sometimes ask questions about his final product, but it's broken an awful lot of things up there, And Tom Hopper, he's had his critics over the last few weeks, but he's been absolutely magnificent today.
And he deserves the ringing round of applause around Roots Hall as he comes off the bench.
Far more than he deserved the booze that he was getting 6 weeks ago.
Absolutely. Noah Mawani, the 26th player to feature for Southend United this season, who have used the least players of all, joined from Preston North End on loans, joined the Whites at 13 years old, captain the under-18s, spent some last season on loan at Newport County, 16 appearances. This season has only made 1 appearance. Has 7 minutes of additional time are put on the board. Slavi Spazov also making the first appearance for him since the trip to Scunthorpe United, beginning of February. Ball went out of play as the board went up for 7 minutes over the touchline. Forest Green with a goal kick. Sun getting lower in South Essex, but Southend's hopes and moods rising. If we stay like this, leading 2-0 over Forest Green Rovers. As Mawani's first job is to try and put Clark under pressure. But Forest Green, and then another high ball. Mellor doesn't control that in the penalty area, and Gubbins and Boys able to clear that away. Pemberton tries to keep this alive for Forest Green, but again Gubbins, well, I would argue, hasn't missed a header in this whole game, mostly because he's rarely been challenged. Well played though. That's Horton turning and shooting on the edge of the penalty area, and again a block from that man, Joe Gubbins. On target, that one as well. Clark whipping the ball into the area for Mellor, but again Gubbins is there. I say this as well, he has never started 8 consecutive games for Southend United until today, but he's showing more and more why he really should be contending for these starting positions amid the injuries that they have.
Absolutely, but he's been terrific back there, but just want to make sure we don't give them anything cheap now.
No. Horton for the corner kick, but doesn't beat the first man. They've
got to take it again.
Yeah, there's already been a to and fro between Marquez and Mawani in the penalty area. Mawani's father, Yule, club legend of Preston North End, 6 years there, nearly 175 appearances. So Horton's with take 2 from the corner kick. Good lift with the clearing header. Walker tries to ensure that gets further clear. As far as Boyabu of Forest Green. Walker picks his pocket. Sam Austin trying to get to the loose ball, but Carl McAllister, the captain, is the one tracking back for Forest Green, who all of a sudden look a bit wearisome.
Yeah, the comment I made about some of their players, it wouldn't apply to McAllister.
He's a very hard worker.
I was going to say he's a good player, but he works flaming hard as well.
Yeah, joint 14th top National League scorer this season with 11 goals. Career best for him. This ball goes out of play. Harry Boy's put under pressure by Mellor. And there will be a throw in for the visitors. McAllister into Kirkhoff. Pushed the back flick into his captain as Spazov was putting the pressure on for Southend. 3 of the 7 additional minutes played. Pemberton attempts the cross but won't beat Harry Taylor, and there are options if Southend wants to get on the counter. Scott Morris attempts the first time pass for Walker but miscued. Perhaps a show of how much work Scott Morris has put in. A bit of a tired pass.
A hell of a bobble just in front of him as well.
That is to be mentioned as well. Pemberton, who's switched wings to this left side, infield to Kirkhoff. Tries to poke through to McAllister, but it's beyond him. Another misplaced pass for Forest Green. Now Gubbins for Southend into Spazov. Himself scored that goal at the New Lawn to give Southend the lead. Couldn't keep hold of it in Southend at the moment. Midway through their stoppage time. Looking good. It's McAllister. Tries to keep Forest Green in possession. Nick Horton. Oh, he's managed to find the ball into the penalty area, but Taylor intercepting ahead of Jose Marquez. And ensures that Harry Boyes can play this down the wing. Spazov controlling it with his chest. Turning away from McAllister, showing his strength. Goes down and wins the foul. Brilliant work from Slavi Spazov.
He did well to make that stick, and it's a caution for Clark, I think. Must have said something to the referee. But great piece of cover from Harry Taylor at the back as well. Came across behind everybody, but then had the wherewithal to bring it out along the byline then knock it forward, and as you say, Spazov did particularly well to make it stick in the first place and then turn and run at them.
Halifax have taken the lead against Boreham Wood 3-2 with 4 minutes of time left in that game. The Shaman leading Boreham Wood.
Don't care now because of this result.
Oh yeah, but still does push Southend out of the playoff places temporarily, but as you say, with being able to reel in Forest Green in their position with the games in hand, it does put them in a nice position. So that game for Southend on the 18th of April at the Shaman is a 12:30 kickoff now. We'll have that on BBC Essex Sport. High ball from Forest Green. Goodlift meeting the header. Scott Morris gets a bit of fortune, but it falls to Forest Green's Mellor. Horton, who's been working like a trooper out there since he's come off the bench, but hasn't really been able to play a pass into his forwards. It's been on different wavelengths. As Carney's put under pressure by Spazov, somehow draws a foul from the referee, says he got hit in the back of the head with the referee about 25 yards away.
Got the free kick, get up.
So no nice words for the referee going to the closing stages on the Southend fans, but Kevin Mayer sitting comfortably in his seat as Darren Curry and Mark Bentley stay on their feet. McAllister trying to lift this again towards the area, but Goodliff and Boys look to clear this away. Morton, who's been really composed as well in the midfield today, putting in some really intricate passes, some rangy ones as well, like that one, but unfortunately Spazov was offside, so that goes straight to the keeper.
Don't matter. That's not a bad ball in the 97th minute.
That's where you want the ball.
Yeah.
Less than 60 seconds left. And a wave of calmness falling over Roots Hall under the sunshine of South Essex.
That's nice to see as well. Ben Goodliff barking at the defenders, squeeze up, get tighter, and that's why they're allowed to do that, because they pushed right out, left the space behind, so that when they knock it behind they can pin everybody there and just allow the ball to run out harmlessly. Good work off the ball and organisation from Ben Goodliff there.
So Colin and Dengendy taking his time with this goal kick in front of the Frank Walton stand. Kevin Mayer now makes his way out. He knows Southend are within touching distance of doing something for the first time this season. Fans waiting expectantly. And Dengendy taking his time. There of inevitability about the way Southend wait for this as that full-time whistle blows, and Southend have done it. They have beaten a top six side for the first time this season, and they have done it at a stroll. They have beaten Forest Green Rovers 2-0 ahead after 2 minutes as James Golding got onto the end of Harry Boy's corner kick and landed into the left side of the net. 7 great chances for Southend as well. Appiah Forson, Coker, Dallas, Hopper, Scott Morris all having chances on goal, and that continued into the second half as Southend continued to drive. Eventually their moment again came from a well-worked set piece. Coker's ball met by Scott Morris, who poked it underneath the goalkeeper to double that lead. Then Forest Green Rovers offering not a lot at all for Ndengendi to work with. 6 shots in the whole game, 7 fouls in that second half, and I say it again, Paul Clark, there's a really jubilant atmosphere now around Roots Hall because Southend may not be back into the playoffs, but they can reel Forest Green in, and they've got great momentum to reel Halifax Town in as well.
Well, first thing to be said, it's nice to get that monkey off their back that they've finally beaten the side from the top 6. They'll be delighted about that. But to say they beat Forest Green today, I think does them a disservice. I thought they made them look really second rate. I thought they dominated them all over the park. Physically they were better. They harried and hustled and didn't give anybody in a pink shirt time to settle on the ball, and as I say, made them look like show ponies without a show to go to. And I just thought every single one in a blue shirt today was absolutely magnificent, and it doesn't surprise me. And this is what I was saying to you after the game last week. A game like Forest Green's coming up is the ideal one, because they'll lift themselves, but they did lift themselves, but it's easy to lift yourself and give that hard work, but then it was the quality of the performance on top of the hard work, and today was the perfect combination of the two, that real hard work and the real quality from them.
the North Bank. A fan on the Fans Football phone-in last night said he hadn't seen the North Bank clear as quickly as it did on Tuesday night against Gateshead. Today it's near full as they applaud the Southend players who are taking in the applause from the West Stand and in the South and East as well, as they do after every game. And I will re-emphasise what Paul Clark says. To a man, every one of those players deserves this applause and they deserve this praise. Tom Hopper, so much work winning the high balls, clearly a tactic to get him to win the balls and bring them sometimes uncontested. Andy Dallas pulling the strings, James Morton and Keenan Appiah-Forson worked really well in the midfield as well, and the back three, even the goalkeeper, a great unit.
Here's a question for you. Name me a player in a blue shirt that came off worst against his opponent.
I don't think I can.
No, there weren't one. Every one of them in every position dominated their opponent. Not just was better on the day, but dominated them. And they made what presumably is a decent Forest Green Rovers side. We say that because of the position they're in. Made them look distinctly average today. As you said, Colin barely had a thing to do.
It's surprising. It's amazing what 3 or 4 months can do for you, because we went to the new lawn, Southend, really good coming out of that second half, got themselves into the head, but then Forest Green came back, showed that bit of quality. But again, it just wasn't anywhere on show from Forest Green. And again, we come back to those words about expectation. You know, there it is on Southend, and they'll be buoyed now going into these next few games. Forest Green, their fans, I'm sure, will have made it clear to the players who all went over there what they think about what they saw.
What's time?
What's the time?
Yeah, what's the time now?
Time right now.
Right,
go on.
I'll give them till 8 o'clock. Keep smiling. Got another one Tuesday. Got to do it again.
We do.
You know, I mean, that was absolutely terrific. Got to do it again now. Otherwise, it's worth nothing. And I know that's putting a dampener on things, but that's the reality of where they are. You've got to. And the thing is, they've set themselves a standard. There's no reason why they can't do that, because they've just done it. They've shown they can do it. Do it again.
It was. Time right now, just gone 5 o'clock, so just under 3 hours, according to Paul Clark, to enjoy that one before we're back here on Tuesday against Rochdale. We're on air with BBC Essex Sport until 6 o'clock. Victoria Polly's with us, so make sure you get in touch. 81333 on text, 08000 321 333 on WhatsApp. Start your message with the word Essex. Pressure can be a funny thing sometimes. Sometimes people can crumble, sometimes pressure can make diamonds. Today, Southend United have shone brightly and come out with some absolute pearlers of goals to see off Forest Green and beat the top 6 side for the first time this season and return to winning ways for the first time in 5 games. Full time at Roots Hall, Southend United 2, Forest Green Rovers 0.
On BBC iPlayer.
Get back! Everyone get back!
Suspect on the move, lower ground level.
Everything from heart pounders.
He is the man behind this.
Beautiful strike. What a ball! It's 2-0!
To heart warmers.
Welcome. I'm so proud of you. Well done.
Yay! Mum is surprising me, and it's quite inspiring.
I feel alive. This is amazing.
From high stakes action to feel good favourites. Wherever you stream, BBC iPlayer.
BBC Essex Sport.
It's a minute past 5. The fans making their way out of Roots Hall, having seen Southend United beat Forest Green Rovers by 2-0. The curse of the top 6 is broken for Blues. Reaction on the way to this one for you on BBC Essex Sport between now and 6. We've had a cracker of a match in the Isthmian Premier as well, a closer contest than the one we've seen here today in the National League. Billericay Town against Aveley. Tom Larson-Wright.
Yes, a dramatic game here at New Lodge, Victoria. It's finished Billericay Town at 3, Aveley 2, but for moments in that first half it didn't look like that was at all going to be possible. The game started off with Billericay having the first real chance of the game. Alfie Cerulli cutting a crossing from the byline, which almost got into the in behind Jonathan North in the Aveley goal. He managed to adjust his hands and grab hold of the ball at the second attempt, but just a few minutes later, 9 minutes into the game, it was the away side Aveley who made the fast start. Toby Aramalaran with a goal tapping in from close range from a George Saunders cross to put the Millers 1 goal to the good. Billericay, after struggling to threaten for a long time in that first side, did come back. Tommy Davis hitting the bar from a corner from a header.